1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
Donnie Lamb Jones. Wide receiver. As a season ticket holder of the Jets, I'm going to fool Ken O'Brien of California Davis.
Obviously, the Jets know something that, the people up there don't.
Fullback. Hello. Roger Vick. Jeff Lageman.
Jets just don't understand the dress all back.
Blair Thomas, running back, Penn State. Johnny Mitchell. The New York Jets select tight end from Penn State, Kyle Brady. Vernon Golson.
Cleveland traded the 5th pick to the New York Jets. And with the 5th pick, the 2009 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Mark Sanchez.
D. Milner.
Smith. Jets select quarterback Christian Hackenberg.
Sam Darnold.
The New York Jets select Zach Wilson.
Future Pro Bowler, Elijah Moore.
Michael Carter, running back.
What's happening, everybody? This is GreenBean. Welcome to the 10 o'clock mock. I am in high spirits tonight. I think you guys know why, but we're going to cut it up. We're going to get into all this. We are going to get into the mock. We have a selected theme for tonight, which we are going to add, but I'm going to talk to you guys and see if we want to add something else to this. So we're going to see how it goes, man. We're going to have a good time. I hope you guys are feeling lighter today. That's what I hope. Now, not everybody. I got some DMs. It says people are still not happy, but I hope you are. That's what I hope. I, GreenBean, hope you are happier today than we were just hours ago after the Amari Cooper thing. Remember that fake bullshit that we got into? Well, I'm happy you're here, and I'm happy to bring on our guest tonight. I'm gonna do that now so he can tell us how he's feeling tonight. You guys may know him. A lot of you are getting to know him, which is awesome. He writes for GreenbeanJetsfan.com. He's doing our positional breakdowns for my Patreon people. And he also has a show on NFL Chaos with Jermaine on Sunday nights where they do competing or dueling mock drafts, which is interesting. So let's say hello to our new friend, Mr. Dom C. How you doing, Dom C?
GreenBean. What's happening? Beanbaggers out there. What a day, man. What a day. I feel
are you feeling better? Are you feeling lighter?
Listen, I never felt bad per se. I feel like being here tonight with you, I feel like very, very lucky. I mean, who could have had the opportunity, the better chance to be on the show the day of, day one of legal tampering when JD put everyone's worries to sleep a little bit. You know what I mean? The fact that he's not spending money, the fact that he's not going after the guys, this, that, and the other thing. What a day, man. It feels good to be a Jets fan. That's for sure. It
does. And it's not like that fake good to be a Jets fan like Jags fans are feeling like right now. Like the Jaguars went out there and it looks exactly like the Jets of old. It looks like it smells like desperation. I mean, dude, they're overpaying everybody by significant margins. Everybody, Kirk getting, what did he get? 18 million, I forget, something, 21 million.
21 million.
21 million.
Annual average, yep.
Dude.
And then they paid Zay Jones, I think, 30 million over 3 years with 20 million guaranteed.
Yep, and then
Evan Ingram, 10 million. Jeez,
10 million. So right, so they paid Evan Ingram 10 bucks. They paid Evan Ingram 10 million, and they paid Foley Fatukasi to leave the Jets as well. And why wouldn't he?
Sure.
Why wouldn't he? He's a 6th round pick. He's been making chump change essentially by comparison to his peers. And the Jaguars say, hey, we're going to offer you a whole bunch of money. You don't have to play around in free agency. He signed that shit quick. Just lock it down. So, that's the thing is that we've been there, man. We know what that looks like. We did it not even too long ago. Le'Veon Bell, C.J. Mosley. We did this. And we know why they're going to the Jags. Sure, we know it's because they're paying them the most money. Now, that might there's some good players there. It's not saying that, but that kind of stuff reeks of desperation, and it's not what we're doing. What you see is a general manager that clearly had a plan. He has developed and built up a whole bunch of capital, and he's using it. He's keeping his own guys. Like, I'm going to just point something out. We were live today when the tampering window opened, and the report that came out concerning Braxton Berrios, there were two reports. One was the market is hot for him right now. Like, there's a lot of interest around the league for Braxton Berrios. The next report said he can get somewhere around $8 million. Not an hour later, he re-signs with the Jets for $6 million. Now, and that's not to say I don't think he's worth whatever, but it's like, it just shows you, number one, how little they really know out there about the Jets. Number two, that everybody needs to just calm down. There's a plan here. Clearly, Joe Douglas was working with Berrios. They knew he went out there. He gauged some interest. They said it was probably in the same ballpark. He said, hey, for that, I'm just going to stay with the Jets. And that's me making shit up, of course, Dom. But that's what it looks like to me. And it's like you said, Joe Douglas, he went out there. He fixed. I mean, the number one priority, and we talked about it all week, was right guard. If you do nothing else in free agency, get us a legitimate NFL right guard. Sure. And he did that. He brings in Laken Tomlinson. Obviously, he has the rapport with our coaches. Our offensive line coach, John Benton, was his coach for years. Obviously, Mike LaFleur. They bring him over. He's missed one game in 5 years. He's been to numerous Pro Bowls. Bring him on in here. Then they go and do some other things. So hopefully Jets fans are feeling happy because it's not fraudulent. This is systematic. Absolutely. I mean, you agree?
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And to be honest with you, I know Laken Tomlinson was a name that everyone talked about, and he was at the top or close to the top, however you ranked your offensive linemen and that were going to be free agents. But dollars to donuts, I could have swore I would have bet the house that he was going to go to Miami, because I'm used to us just losing those guys. You know what I mean? It made sense. It made sense with his offensive coordinator from last year going to Miami. They have holes and places to address on the offensive line. I thought that, I didn't even think Tomlinson was going to really be an option. So I was so stoked to see him. I was so stoked to see it. And more so, we've been talking about it all off season. We got to do everything we can to support our young quarterback. Let him grow. We put the best or close to the best free agent offensive lineman in front of him. We gave him a viable weapon at tight end. We brought back Berrios, which was somebody that he has a rapport with. I mean, that's supporting our young maturing quarterback. And like I said, a home run. Whether or not you think the guys were the cream of the crop, sure, who wouldn't have liked Dalton Schultz or some of those other guys, but he did exactly what we needed him to do, and that supports
right. Right, and he's still not done, as we know. I mean, free agency goes. I mean, it really isn't hasn't even opened yet. I mean, we're just talking about these are agreements in principle. They could, as we know very well, they could turn around and say, on second thought, I don't want to go there. So let's hope that doesn't happen. I don't think that that's going to happen to this regime. I don't want knock on wood, but it's a different air about us. I mean, it's a professional organization. Joe Douglas is well respected. I highly doubt that there's going to be an agreement made and they're going to go back on it. Joe Douglas is kind of, he takes care of that. Mike McCagnon was just throwing cash around and he didn't really know what he was doing, had very, very little respect around the league. So let's say hello to some people. I see Taps Any Buttons is here. He says we need a wide receiver. I see Mark Riz is back. What's up, Mark? Eminon's here. Steve Becker. Matt Simon, he's talking about $20 million for any of these players. I agree. AC is here. Jared P. Gitmo Bob is back. William Malpica, he says, in JD, I trust. Yeah, man.
Amen. Right? William.
Amen to that. And Eminon to that. What do you think? Eminon to that. I like that. Abe is here. Fat Gandalf, Jeffrey R. You guys are the best, man. Owen Barreri, I hope you guys are having a good day and enjoying this. The Mott Zone is here. He says, would I be opposed to signing Jarvis Landry? I don't think Jarvis Landry is going to come anywhere near this organization. And not only because he doesn't want to play here, I don't think the Jets would even look that way. He's known as a little bit of a punk, and that's just not what we're doing here. You know what I mean? I don't think – now, if they signed him, would I be upset? No, but I just don't think it's going to happen, Mott Zone. Wat2K is in the house. What's up, buddy? William, I said hello to William. Sean McAteer, Joe Campione is back.
What's up, Joe?
Chris Bradigan, FOC. Yeah, man, you guys are the shit. Just Dreaming. Sean McAteer. Duncan's here. Yeah, B2B. Said it feels good to be a Jets fan. Mutt Viles is back. So, guys, I'm happy you're here. This is Dom C from GreenBeanjetsfan.com, as well as NFL Chaos with Jeremy. He's here with us. Dom is a bit of a draft or let's say player evaluation expert, right? Is that fair enough?
Expert might be a stretch, but I like it.
Make you uncomfortable, Dom?
No. I like it. My head just got a little bigger. Maybe draft nerd might be
draft
a more
nerd.
Clear description.
Right. Well, I like it.
I dig into these guys. It's just a passion of mine. I like it. It's a good avenue. It's a good outlet for me to kind of just veer off from reality for a while and forget about the crazy stuff that's going on and just kind of focus on it, man. It's a good outlet. It's healthy.
Yeah.
It's healthy.
It is healthy, man. It is healthy. It's fun and it's good. And I respect your opinion. You've called, look, man, Dom wrote an article months ago about the tight ends in the draft class, and he was talking about Jelani Woods. And nobody was talking about Jelani Woods, and I mean nobody. And Dom was talking about him, saying this and that. You want to keep your eye on him. He goes to the combine. He lights it up. Everybody's talking about Jelani Woods. I want to let you know. There are more examples, but Dom hit that shit. And he's done that with quite a few players. He knows his stuff, and I'm glad to have you here tonight. So we'll get into the draft in a moment, and I want to tell you guys what we're doing tonight. But Mark Riz brings up something. He says, Ian Rappaport says the Broncos agreed to terms with defensive tackle DJ Jones on a 3-year, $30 million deal. I'm currently in a discussion on Twitter with, I let everybody know. I just said, hey, by the way, I want to remind everybody, the beat told us none of this, what was going to happen today. They threw out more names, and people are coming back with Connor Hughes actually did talk about Laken Tomlinson and Uzuma. So that's all great and well and good. Everybody knew about Laken. Everybody was talking about these guys. It's not like they had inside information, but I want to just point out that DJ Jones was another one that they said was coming to the Jets. And look, he goes to the Broncos. So it's not that I have a personal vendetta against the beat. I just want to remind us, like when they get us upset, because I'm the guy who cares about you guys. When you're all bent out of shape, I care, man. I actually care about your feelings. I care. I want you guys to be okay. I don't like knowing that you're going to lay in bed and toss and turn over Amari Cooper. I don't like it. So I want to point out to you guys that how wrong the beat is. They try to get us upset and everything. And they threw some shit to the wall and a couple pieces stuck. It's bound to happen. I mean, shit, I have one source, but he's given me nothing this year. I have no sources, let's say. And I knew about Laken Tomlinson because it's 2 + 2 = 4, everybody. So DJ Jones going to the Broncos is one more thing that they got wrong today. But it's going to be fun. So let's get to this super chat, and then we're going to get started. Edward Ziff, thank you, my friend. He says, Tomlinson on the Jets will make Becton focus more. Well, that's interesting. I don't know. I mean, he's got a great reputation, Laken Tomlinson. He's a leader.
He's a leader, exactly.
Right.
And I think that's, probably the characteristic that as you read up and you read, everyone has to say about him. I mean, the San Francisco 49ers, what they put out on social media, a lot of them were hurt, upset that he was leaving for good reason. I mean, PFF had him graded out towards the top of the tier in offensive guards in both pass blocking and run blocking. He's a leader. He's like I said, he carries the best ability, which the Jets a lot of guys for the Jets often miss. The best ability, availability. He's
right
there
on
all the time. He's
right
there
on
all the time. You know,
Well
so
said.
let's keep our fingers crossed that he doesn't that doesn't jinx that we don't jinx him with that. But he's on the field. He's got a mean streak. He's a dog. You know, he's got that dog mentality. I talk about that a lot in some of the guys that I'm writing, and it's one thing I look at while I'm watching a lot of these prospects is like, do they like it? You know, do they like the physicality of the game? Do they like to get up there and get dirty and and punch somebody in the mouth? And if you read and if you watch Lakin Tomlinson, like that's what he did. You know what I mean? He's got that mean streak in him. I love it. I love it. I love the pick.
And you know what we need? We need guys that are going to stand up for our damn quarterback when he gets a late hit or a dirty hit or just even hit. I want my offensive lineman to protect my quarterback. And Lakin Tomlinson is one of those guys. So I think Ed's got a point. You know, it's like, let's bring in guys with great reputations that are vets to take our young guys and teach them the right way. Let's show them by actions. Actions speak louder than words. Coaches are great and all that stuff, but having a guy like Lakin Tomlinson on our young line is going to be fantastic. Taps Any Button says, would you want to pay Marcus Williams or Gilmore? Now, here's the thing. I actually put Stephon Gilmore in my first offseason master plan, and I like Gilmore. I mean, everybody's like, get out of here. He's washed. He's not washed up. 2 years ago, he was arguably the best cornerback in the NFL. He had an injury.
Yeah, dealing with an injury last year, played through it. You know,
well, he came back from it. Yeah, he came back from it, and he played well. But so the Patriots traded him because of his contract, and this is one of those things. They gave him a great contract. They traded him for chump change just so the Panthers would take his contract. He missed the first 8 games, played the final 8 games, and played fine. Dude, he would be a great get. Now, if I had to choose one, I'm choosing Marcus Williams because we don't really have any viable safeties.
I agree.
You know,
Williams is younger. Williams is a great player, but, to play devil's advocate in that, I agree with you. I'd probably, if gun to my head, if I had to choose one, I'd take Marcus Williams. But if you look at it, there's a little bit more strength in the draft at the safety position.
That's a good
whether
point.
or not you wanted to target Kyle Hamilton or some of those next tier guys, the Briskers or the Lewis Scenes of the world. After I don't know outside of Sauce Gardner and how you feel about Stingley Jr. There's not a precipitous drop off, but there's a drop off. You know what I mean? Well, the talent level does dip a little bit. So devil's advocate, you could say, yeah, you know what? I'll go take the veteran cornerback in a young cornerback room and let him coach them up and be that veteran presence there, and then address that safety position in the draft.
Yeah, but what about this? And that's a great point. He's actually 100% right. This is a very strong safety class by comparison to other safety classes. But what about this? I'm fine with running it back with our cornerbacks from last year. I have zero problem. Now, do I think it can be upgraded? Of course I do. Do I think we should add a vet to that group? I do. But if you decided to put your efforts into defensive line, linebacker, and safety and just run it back with our cornerbacks, I would be fine with that. I have zero issue.
I agree. If you listen, I've said it all offseason. The Jets have so many holes coming into this offseason, right? So you're not going to fill you're not going to fill every single one of the holes on day one of the tampering period. You're not going to fill all the holes through free agency. You're probably not going to fill every single hole just alone on the draft. So I'm like you said, I much rather go into this season running it back with the cornerbacks that we have than if you told me, all right, you're going to run it back with, makeshift right guard or the tight end crew that we threw out there or the safeties that we piecemealed together towards the end of the season.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like we have real holes to address. More than likely, you're not going to fix everything in 1 year, but we're doing a damn good job starting it off right now. And it's going to be interesting to see. But I have no problem with Stephon Gilmore. I think he's got plenty left in the tank. But if I had to choose one, I would choose Marcus Williams. Hater, man, it's good to see you, buddy. But you didn't put anything in your super chat. But I want to thank you nonetheless. I do appreciate it, man. If I see a question from you later, I'm going to try my best to scan the chat. I'll try to get it up there, but I want to say thank you. Iowan Jets fan checks in. He says, if we get Gilmore, do you think Sauce is still an option at 4? I would think no, but maybe at 10. I don't even think Sauce Gardner is an option at 4 or 10 for us.
I knew you were going to say that. I don't see it.
I don't see it. Now, if it happens, like I said, I do like Sauce Gardner, but I didn't get, like, everybody changed their tune after the combine, right, Dom? And that's fine, right? That's fine. But I don't see cornerback as our first round need. I just don't. Now, I'm not saying don't bring a vet in, but using our first round capital on, like, up there, man, it's edge rusher all day. Kyle Hamilton's a special player. I wouldn't take any other safety up there, but walking out of there with Kayvon Thibodeau and Kyle Hamilton or Hutchinson and Nakobe Dean, like, that to me is more beneficial because we have legitimate holes there. Like, our cornerbacks, I'm not saying they're world beaters, but another year in the system, who knows, man?
Yeah, who knows? If we keep 4 and 10, I think we have to come out of there with a piece that gets after the quarterback. Whether it's at 4, whether it's 10, whether it's a trade down, but in a hypothetical, if we keep both of those, we have to get out of there at least with one player that's going to get out of the quarterback, and it's got to be a defensive end. Now if you told me, like, and I'm in the same boat as you. I don't think they're going to go Sauce Gardner at 4, but if they did, because that's the guy that they focus on, I'm okay with that. But then at 10, you got to take an edge. And if you take an edge at 4, which is the way I'd probably lean to do, it gives you a little bit more options. It gives you the ability to maybe, look at a Nakobe Dean, look at a Devin Lloyd if you want to fill the linebackers, see if there's another wide receiver that is high on JD's board that you can do. I think regardless, we have to get after the quarterback. And this is we've put little pieces in place to allow us to focus our attention that way, I think.
Yeah. Mark Riz checks in and says, gripe monetarily. I like that, Mark. That's pretty nifty wordplay there, my friend. I like that. So thank you for the super chat. And Iowa. So I think if we do bring in a Gilmore, that if we were considering drafting a cornerback that high, I do think it's off the board. That's what I would say. So let's get this draft started, Dom. Now, the poll said they chose trading the number 10 for DK Metcalf. So that's what they chose.
Okay.
And by a pretty wide margin, like over 20%. But here's what I'm thinking I might want to do this instead. What do you guys say we just go with who we signed in free agency today? Let's stay on that theme. I didn't think we were going to get much done and everything. I thought, hey, I better still have a theme. But what do you guys think if we just go ahead and factor in the guys that we just signed today and orchestrate our draft that way with no preconceived trades? What do you guys think? Right? So Owen says yes. Fat Gandalf says yes. Bradigan says better. John Emerello says, why don't we just keep our 10th overall pick? Iowan says yes. Donker Sloot. What's up, Donker Sloot? He says yes. So, okay, Duncan, Phillip, Bag of Chuck, he says yes. Derek Luker says poll. I don't want to do a poll for this one. I'm going to do a poll for every choice, though, tonight. I'm going to do a poll for every choice. I want to go over the poll that you guys just did. 99% of you said you were happy. Can you believe that, Dom? 99% of our Jets fan chat is happy. I can't even.
I must have just read at probably that 1% of all the voters that weren't happy that we lost DJ Jones to the Broncos. It's you would think the world was ending.
Well, there's going to be somebody, right? There's got to be somebody like this is bullshit. Like I had a DM before that said, are you really pretending to be excited about these losers? I'm like, who? Berrios, Laken Tomlinson was my primary target. Now, I would have been just as happy with James Daniels or Alex Kappa, but dude, I mean, that was my number one. I said that 100 times. If we come out of the first day of free agency and all we do is fix right guard but Laken Tomlinson, I'm psyched. In a great mood.
Like I said, he rated as a top 10 pass blocker and run blocker who hasn't missed a game and was an All-Pro. What? Tell me what makes him a loser. His name?
Yeah,
you tell me his name Lakin makes him a loser. I might be able to get down with that, but
because he's old. Because he's old. That's what it is. He's older.
You know what? No, I think age is but a number with some of these offensive linemen. They seem to be able to weather the storm a little bit longer than maybe a running back or somebody who takes, beating after beating after beating. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, dude. I think it's fantastic. I'm still hoping that we sign LDT. That would be even better for me. It's time to beef it up, man. Let's beef up our O-line. Let's get this shit tightened up and let Zach have some time back there. So, guys, we're going to get into the mock now, but I want to remind you before I do, there's 301 of you guys in here. We have just over 100 likes. If you guys didn't hit that like button yet, now is the time. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. We have all sorts of fun on this channel. And don't forget, Green Bean loves you. That's the truth. I'm one of you. I care. I want you guys to be happy, and I want to help. So hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Let's get all that stuff up for me here. Okay, so here we go. We're going to bring on the sim. So we have elected, Dom, to keep our 10th overall pick and ride with what we did today in free agency. I think that's a good plan, guys. I'm happy that you did that. I was thinking about it as I drove over here. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to trade I don't want to do what the poll said today.
Yeah,
so
listen, I think we'd be doing such a positive day in Jets fans' lives today. I think we'd be doing a disservice if we didn't keep rolling with that.
I agree. So, guys, we're going to do that. The theme of the night is going to be we just ride with what the Jets did in free agency today, not what we think we're going to do tomorrow and everything. So what we did today is we re-signed Berrios, or up to today, I should say. We re-signed Berrios, which is fantastic. We re-signed Bawden, which is good. We signed Lakin Tomlinson, right guard. We signed Uzoma, the tight end from the Bengals. We also signed, who else did we sign?
Kevin Coleman.
Kevin Coleman. Right. So we shored up our running back room a little bit with a vet, a little bit of continuity. That's good. So that's, and then we obviously, we re-signed LaMarcus Joyner and Will Parks as well. Thank you. So we're going to ride with that and see what we think. You guys ready? Let's draft, everybody. Yay. Here we go. Okay, let's see what happens. Aiden Hutchinson, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Malik Willis coming back. I'm telling you, man, I think Detroit's going to take Malik Willis with the number 2 overall pick. I really do.
It wouldn't shock me.
I really do. All right, guys, we have 3 trade offers. I will put this in a poll. So the first one is to go and accept the slide back to 6 and give 110. So we give number 4 and pick 110 for number 6. Pick 107 next year's 2nd and 3rd. That doesn't sound well. It's too. That's interesting. The Steelers want us to go back to 20. They'll give us 52, 84, 138, and next year's 2nd. That's a far drop. Let's see. The Patriots want us to go to 21. They'll give us 54, 85. That trade's already worse than the Steelers. So they want us to go further and they give us less.
My standard rule of thumb is when somebody in the division comes knocking, I tell them to go kick rocks. I wouldn't trade with the Patriots for nothing.
Okay, so I'm going to put it in a poll. So we got the Panthers. Don't worry about my spelling. My microphone's on my keyboard. Steelers. The Pats.
So while he's typing, I'm curious, what could the Steelers want to jump up to 4 for? They got their quarterback here, right? They signed Trubisky today, or at least maybe he's their quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know, Dom.
It's got to be the offensive line. They gotta be wanting to shore up offensive line, and with Neal and Iquanu still there, they're probably saying, "Let me go get him."
All right, guys, I put, sorry, Dom, but let me just say that I put the poll up. If you can't see it, refresh your browser and you'll see the poll. So we have the 3 trade opportunities, the Panthers, the Steelers, the Pats, and no trade. So I'll tell you what, I would consider this slide back to 6, man. That's a nice chunk of capital. Let's take a look at it again. And so, sorry, Dom, I cut you off there. What were you saying?
No, I was just saying it's the Pittsburgh deal. I'm just trying to wrap my head around what they're trying to move up for, and it's got to be an offensive lineman.
I don't know. Maybe it's a quarterback.
This Panthers trade, you slide back to 6. You're not missing much. The guys that we're probably targeting at 4, we can probably still target at 6.
But then look, all we're doing is they're not even giving us a pick in this draft. We're using 110 to slide up 3 spots. So we're sliding back 2 spots in the first. In the 4th, we're sliding up 3 spots, and then all the capitals for next year. So that's, I don't know. I mean, in real life, I might consider that. I would. Let's see.
Here's the thing to think about. Wrap your head around this, Bean. If we picked right now, if you were on the clock right now, who are you taking here at 4?
Ooh, okay. Let's see here. Me, I'm taking Kyle Hamilton, and I'm going to get my edge at 10. That's what I'm doing. I know the chat's not going to agree with me.
No, that's fine, and I can get down with that. Or if you said, and I know you wouldn't, but if you said, all right, I want to take Sauce Gardner and then get my edge at 10, or if you said I want to get my edge here, edge my whoever my number 3 edge is, and take the best available talent left at 10. I think you're still going to have those options here if we slide down from 4 to 6. Listen, could the Giants take Kyle Hamilton in this mock simulator? Absolutely. In real life, no. I think they're going to take offensive linemen. So that's really all you're worrying about here.
Yeah.
What is the Giants going to do?
Okay, I just checked. The poll is there, so I'm sorry if it took a second to get up there. Try to refresh it again. We'll hit the poll. We'll only spend another 30, 40 seconds on this thing. And then let me see. Is Panthers winning? Let me see who's I'll tell you who's winning, Dom. Right now, the Panthers 52%. So remember, guys, and we'll try to counter it. I'll try to get some more stuff in there. But that's all stuff for next year. So we're not going to really get much to play with this year. We do not gain a pick. We just move up 3 spots from 110 to 107. Okay. And then if we say no trade, we'll get right to it. It's looking like the Panthers, though. I got to tell you. No trade has 45%. We're going to give it 30 more seconds. Here we go. I'm going to watch my clock. 30 more seconds. If you did not vote, now is the time, guys, because you're going to get all mad that it didn't go your way and then you didn't vote. If you can't see the poll, refresh your page and you'll be able to see it. No trade is climbing back.
Right now, Wave, I'm with you. Wild Wave said, what 1% chose the Patriots?
The Pack fan. The same guy who's not happy today.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Block them, whoever they are.
Yeah, okay. We got 10 more seconds, and I'm just going to end it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Poll is ended. Let's see what we got. Here it comes, guys, so you can see. There it is. No trade. Pulled it out at the last second. No trade. Okay. So now we're going to do a poll. I'm going to put the players in there, okay? So pick number 4.
I think you got to consider Hamilton.
Yep. We're going to put Sauce Gardner in there.
You got to consider Sauce Gardner. And then, honestly, I would probably put 2 edges in there and see who the chat likes. I'm going to say my edge 3 and my edge 4. And I'm not saying to put them in, but my edge 3 is probably Jermaine Johnson. Edge 4 is another question.
Oh, no, I know who it's going to be. We're putting 1 edge in there, and we're going to put Neal. Oh, is Icky still there?
Icky's still there, yes.
All right, we're going to put Icky in there, okay? But that's all it is. I can only have 4. So, guys, we have Sauce Gardner, Kyle Hamilton, Karlaftis, and Icky. Okay, so that's who we're picking. Here we go. The poll is there. Let's see what we do. What do you think's going to happen right here? Who do you think they're going to pick? I know my guy's not winning. I'm Hamilton, 100% right now. But what do you think's going to happen, Dom?
Of these four, I would probably, if you're asking me in regards to the players themselves, of these 4, I'm between Hamilton and Sauce. But I think Edge is the way to go. So Karlaftis, I think the chat is going to lean Edge as well. So I think Karlaftis is going to be a Jet here. If I was a betting man, that's how I'd guess.
Interesting. So Mr. Rex says, with all those options, it makes 0 sense not to take the trade. Yeah, I mean, right. But it is what it is. Well, I mean, who knows? If the guy that we pick right now might not make it to 6. So who knows? We don't know, right? Come on, Mr. Rex. Sauce is going to win, Duncan says. Let's see. Hey, man, I'm seeing some guys. Justin Reed went to KC. Boo! Unless we're getting Marcus Williams. That was the guy I thought we were really going to get. Y2K comes in. Justin Reed to the KC. I see a lot of guys putting it in there now. Yep, Logan says it. Right. Okay, so I'm going to end the poll and see where we are. I haven't even looked at it yet. I'm ending it. Oh, yeah, look at this. So it's Sauce Gardner is the pick. And the truth is, just to comment on Mr. X, I got to click this out. Sorry, I should have kept the thing up there for you guys. My bad. I'll do better next time. So the truth is Kyle Sauce Gardner might not make it to 6. So that's the guy that we want. And you don't know if he's going to make it to 6. Just because I gave you more choices doesn't ruin the fact of not taking the trade. All right, so here he comes, Sauce Gardner, you bunch of cornerback-loving guys out there. So let's see.
Sauce Gardner is a great player. He fits the scheme well. And again, he also has that dog mentality that we talked about. The guy doesn't let up touchdowns. We all know that. But he's big, he's strong, he's physical. I mean, there's not a lot that you can't love in Sauce Gardner. So,
right,
like you said, I wouldn't go that way, but if he was the pick, I'd be stoked.
That's the thing, how do you not like the player, right? So that's not an issue. I wouldn't personally do that, but I wouldn't be unhappy if the Jets did. And 50% of you guys said Sauce, so there he comes. Now, guys, we have 3 trade offers. It starts with the Jags. They want us to go out of the first round. That would give us pick 33, 35, 38. They're also going to give us 65, 70, and next year's second. The Saints want to chime in. They want us to give 10 and 69. That's our third for 18 and their second. So essentially, in this draft, we'd be moving up from the third to the second. We'd have 3 seconds and no third. So then they want to add next year's second as well. The Bears also want us to leave the first round and take 39, 48, 71, and second. Dom, I'm gonna go back to the first one here so you guys can see it. I'm gonna put a poll in there, and we'll see. We'll see what we got here.
So who's on the board here? As I'm reading the chat, I can't see the screen too well, but as I'm reading the chat, I see a lot of people saying you got to take Hamilton. Jermaine Johnson's probably still available. Listen, again, if I was a betting man, I'd say we have to really attack the edge here. That's the way I would go. Since we passed on at the first pick, let's attack it here. Although there will be some edges available in that second and third round, a guy like Jermaine Johnson, who is really, super high floor, plug and play, big, strong, physical, can seal the edge, get after the quarterback. I mean, I think he's a perfect fit to play opposite Lawson in our defense, in that rotation.
Yeah. Right. Man, that's a good argument. So here we go, guys. We have 3 trade offers. The poll is up. Let me make sure that it's up there. So we're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but just so you can see them again, here's the Jaguars trade, here's the Saints trade, and here is the Bears trade. Okay, I'll leave the Saints there a little bit longer. So you can see what we got here and the Bears trade. So I'm going to go ahead. Guys, get your votes in. Go ahead. I'll give it 10 more seconds. I mean, yeah, it's crushing it. So, all right, I'm just going to end it. 86% said no trade, so I'll get the trades off there. Now we got to talk about some players. So here is the big board. We have Charles Cross there for the tackle right after Kyle Hamilton. So the arguably, top 3, but arguably the best tackle in the class. There is a contingent that said he's the best tackle. Not me. Jamison Williams, Tyler Linderbaum, the edge like Dom was just talking about. We have George Karlaftis. We have Ojabo. Derek Stingley's there, but we just went Sauce Gardner. You got a quarterback. You got another tackle. Trevor Penning moving up the board. Look at this.
Yeah.
So then we got the linebackers, Devin Lloyd. So it's really between Hamilton, Karlaftis. Let me see what the chat is saying for our choices. I want to get a gauge on what you guys think. I'm seeing a lot of Hamilton.
I'm seeing a lot of Hamilton. I saw a lot of Jermaine Johnson. I saw one Karlaftis right there from Bill Neftelberg. Eddie Hunt wants to take a center. Come on, Eddie.
Well, hey, man, look, I get it. All right, so we're going to put Hamilton in there. We're going to put Karlaftis in there. And I'll add one more option. Who's the next guy you're seeing, Dom, in the chat?
Karlaftis, Jermaine Johnson.
Jermaine Johnson. Okay, so I'm going to add Jermaine Johnson. So we got 2 edges. Whoops. All right, Jermaine Johnson. So it's going to be between, I spelt it wrong. Don't get hung up on it, guys. We got Jermaine Johnson, Kyle Hamilton, and Karlaftis. So go ahead and get your votes in. The poll is up, guys. The poll is up. You guys know what I would do. I'm taking Hamilton all day. I would have taken Hamilton at 4. So I would have mismanaged this one a little bit. You don't want to...
Yeah, if our draft went like this, if our real draft went like this, I would say right here we are win-win. I would lean towards taking the edge personally, because, like I said, I think the strength of the safety class that we can fill with our second or third rounders is going to be more than sufficient. There's some really good ball players that are going to be down there in the Briskers and the Scenes and the Petries of the world. So I would probably lean edge, but like I said, if you told me Kyle Hamilton, if the chat tells us Kyle Hamilton, man, I'm not going to argue with that at all.
Right.
It is absolutely win-win.
But B2B has a good point. He says that we're in danger of splitting the edge vote right now. So that could be to Kyle Hamilton's favor. It was not intentional. I want you to know that. But that's a good point. Having 2 guys from one position, maybe we don't do that moving forward. Unless we're just talking about guys that are in that position and we know we're taking that position. That's a good point. It was not intentional. So here's what the big board looks like here. Can you see it better, Dom?
Mm-hmm. Much better now. Thank you.
Dom is he's older than he looks, guys. I know. It can be hard to see. Okay. So let me see what the poll is saying. What is that? Get the hell out of here with that ad. What is this?
The draft guide.
Yeah. All right, let me see here. I'm going to end the poll. I have no idea what it is. Let's see. Kyle Hamilton with Jermaine Johnson and Carla. I think B2B's on to something. I think that the edge vote was split, but it is what it is. And we're going to go ahead and take Kyle Hamilton right now, guys. And let's see what edges slide down for us. We're going to need it. This is a weird one, guys. This is weird. Kyle Hamilton.
But Kyle Hamilton, if we started a draft off with Kyle Hamilton and Sauce Gardner, I think we put good footing in place. I mean, they're 2 outstanding athletes, 2 fabulous football players. Going to battle to be perennial Pro Bowlers. As long as they stay the course.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, he said, what is it? So Joe Campione's asking, I said that the trade was like 99% or 88% no trade, Joe. That's what it was. So Masuk chimes in with a super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, no better way to come out of Jets hibernation than catching up with GreenBean. Well, thank you. Yeah, man. And look, we got all this fun stuff to talk about. This is a good day. We are allowed to smile, Jets fans. I know it doesn't feel like that sometimes, but we are. We are allowed to enjoy ourselves. We don't know what the season's going to bring, but today, my friends, today is a good day. And thank you for the super chat. Let's see what I got to catch up. Okay, so let's see where we are. We are at pick 35, and we have 2 trade offers, guys. The Steelers want us to go back from 35 to 52 and throw in 163 for next year's second. The Denver Broncos, they're not done making deals this offseason. They want us to go to 64 and throw in 163. They'll give us 75, a third, and 96, which is another third, isn't it? That's 2/3.
Yes,
or maybe that's
2/3.
Yeah, 2/3. So what do you guys think? I'll make a poll real quick.
Well,
It's funny,
before you make the poll, Bean, who's on the board? Is it even worth making a poll for? Can we see?
Okay, let's do it. That's a good question. Okay, let's see what we got here.
Because I'm getting a whiff of something from the chat here.
Look who's there. We were talking about Jermaine Johnson. There he is. So here's the big board. Okay, guys, we got guys like Jermaine Johnson and Kenyon Green still sitting there. Wow. We have running back Breece Hall. We got Perion Winfrey, the most valuable player of the Senior Bowl.
And
Boye Mafia. Here we go.
Great prospect, nonetheless.
So, guys, let me tell you something. If it's me, and you can see where they have him rated to number 24, I would grab Jermaine Johnson. And before everybody starts chiming in that it's unrealistic, it happens every year. Every single year, guys that were considered first-round picks slide to the second. So it can happen. So we got Jermaine Johnson and Kenyon Green. I'm going to go ahead and look at what edge rushers are left, though, real quick.
Sure.
Right after Jermaine Johnson, guys, we have Boye Mafe, Drake Jackson, Sam Williams, Ebiketie, Cam Thomas, Enix Bar. Yeah, so this is like the end of that first-round edge conversation. Now, you might like one of these guys better, then that's fine. But as far as who we're talking about consistently being first-round edge, it ends right here at Jermaine Johnson. So if you want that edge, we were just talking about him at pick 10, guys. Sure. He got 29% of the vote.
I would have taken him at pick 4. So you know where I'm leaning.
Yeah. All right. So what are the trades again? We have the Jags and the Steelers. Let me see here.
No, and the Steelers wanted us to go down, and Denver wanted us to go down, and Denver is gonna give us 2/3 to do it.
So Denver, Steelers, and no trade. Hold on. All right, guys, the poll as of right now is up. So the poll is up. Go ahead and vote. This is for the trades. I'll just give it like a minute, okay? Look, so Jerry's in here getting all real and shit. No way they pick 2 defensive. Oh, Jerry, it's not what they pick. It's what we pick. That's what we're doing. We're having fun. That's what this is. Every week we do a different theme and we have fun with it. Let go. Let go, Jerry.
We play the cards that are dealt to us.
Right. That's how it goes. There's 3. I'll tell you what. This is more difficult than what the Jets are doing. They don't have 330 people in their war room. Let me tell you. This is not easy, my friends. Okay? With YouTube polls and guest hosts, and they don't have any of this shit. They're just sitting in there. They spent all year talking to each other, and they just make a pick. We have the tough job. It's harder in here, Jerry. I'm telling you. So, all right. I'm going to end the poll now. Let's see what we got. No trade, 96%. So, okay, now we're talking about the players, guys. The trade is off. So I'm going to do a poll. Who do you think's the next guy? Let's go to the big board. Let's do Jermaine Johnson, Kenyon Green, and who's the top wide receiver? Alec Pierce, Christian Watson. I'm going to put Watson in there because he's a favorite. Everybody loves him. So pick. Oh, whoa, wait, Dom. I have to check something, guys. Trey McBride is he's usually our pick 35, I got to say. But Jermaine Johnson being there. So I'm going to put Trey McBride in there, okay? McBride, Johnson, and Kenyon Green. Right. Okay.
I think this is going to be a landslide, but
Me too.
I understand why you're putting the other guys in there.
Right, because there's definitely people that want him. Yeah. See, like, here's the thing. Everybody's sitting at home. They're only thinking about what they want. It's obvious to me, but it's not obvious with 330 people. I mean, it's crazy, you know, like sometimes what I think is going to be no question. You guys vote me out. You guys outvote me all the time. So it's crazy, man. So we want to give everybody the opportunity to voice their opinion. And then we're all happier for it. So Flatbush Trey says edge GreenBean. Yeah, I know. I'm with you. I'm taking Jermaine Johnson here. I want you to know that. If it was just me and I didn't have anybody to talk to about it, I'm taking Jermaine Johnson. Truth is, I would have got my edge rusher at 4 anyway, but with what we're looking at right now, Dom,
like I said earlier, you play the cards that are dealt. We locked up the back end of our defense.
Hell yeah, we did.
Hamilton. You know, I love, and this really gets my juices flowing out. Defense. First 3 picks. I love it. Especially after coming off a day where we put in some offensive pieces to support Zach. Now let's build up that defense.
That's well, the thing is, like, it's like this. I'm 100% offensive minded when it comes to today's NFL. I am. But you can't ignore what the talent pool is. Sure. If it's defense, you want to get defense. Like, I mean, look, I always played defense in high school and everything. I was always on the defense. Most of the time. When I was real little, I played, remember the Panthers? We grew up in the same
PAL Panthers.
The PAL Panthers. Did you play?
I did.
That's great, man. So Dom and I played for the same youth league so many years ago. Different years, of course, but we played for the same youth league, and we played for the Parsippany Panthers, and we sucked all the time, buddy. We sucked forever. But I was a running back.
Even when I came around, we sucked too, so don't worry about it.
We never got good. All right, I'm going to end this one. It is Jermaine Johnson. McBride came in second, and Kenyon Green got some votes as well. So it's Jermaine Johnson, guys. Let's go ahead and pick our boy. Now, 38 is going to be the interesting one.
Absolutely, because I think we got to consider Trey McBride or the best tight end that you think. Christian Watson, again, he makes sense. And, you know, I think this is going to probably, realistically, in the true NFL draft, right around here is going to be his floor. It wouldn't surprise me one bit if Christian Watson's taken in the late half of the first round.
That would surprise me. That would surprise me if he's a first-round pick.
No, listen. He's got the size. He's got the speed. He's got the skill set.
He's got the not playing against any competition in college thing.
But it hasn't hurt some of the guys that came out of those small colleges. He tested out, ridiculously athletically at the combine to support the size speed factor that he does have. He's a menace on special teams. He can return punts. He's got a little Debo in him. You can put him in, you can set out those quick wide receiver screens and let him do his business. He's going to be a first round pick. I'm calling it right now. That's my hot take from Dom C. Christian Watson will be a first round pick.
Wow, that is a hot take. See, now that's a hot take.
Hot. It's lukewarm.
No, that's a hot take, dude. That is a hot take. Unlike these beat writers that throw out 12 players and then when they hit on one, they say, I told you. You're picking a guy that's not supposed to be a first-round pick up until a week ago, and you're saying he's a first-round pick. So, guys, we have 2 trade offers. Let's take a look at them. You've probably been staring at them. We have the Vikings. They want us to go back to 46 and give 146 for 77. So, essentially, we slide back 8 spots, and they give us the right to slide up 70 or so picks later on. The Chargers, a little bit meatier, they want us to give 38 and 146 for picks 79, 122, next year's second and third. So the poll is up. Go ahead, refresh your browser, and we'll see if you guys want to do the trades. Again, I won't leave this up too long, but get your guys' votes in there.
Yeah, so while we're waiting on the votes here, Let's think about the holes that we still have left to fill. Obviously, we want to address the tight end position. I think you would agree. If we went wide receiver, it wouldn't surprise anybody. You can use a defensive lineman. I know for some reason, defensive linemen right now seem to be the taboo word. Nobody wants to talk about the Jets using some of this high draft capital on one, but I think it makes sense.
I would be mad.
Linebacker is still a position that we need to address.
That's right.
Rather than later. So
that's right.
There's still holes. So maybe sliding back here wouldn't be the worst thing in the world because we get to jump up from our 5th rounder to a 3rd rounder, give us a little bit more value. And you're staring right there. I see you put the linebackers up. I just finished, as a matter of fact, I'm doing my final editing on my linebacker piece for GreenBeanjetsfan.com, which will be out hopefully Wednesday, if not Wednesday, Thursday, whenever Bean gets it up on the site. And one of the guys that I really hammered home hard on was Christian Harris. What a great football player the guy.
You like him. You like him.
I like him a lot. I like him a lot. I didn't want to. For some reason, there's something inside of me that kind of wants to root against these Alabama guys. But the more I watched them, the more I saw a real aggressive, instinctive football player who gets his nose up in there, knows how to dissect pass routes, finds his zone. He's a good football player, and I think he'd be a great fit. And, if not right next to Mosley in year 1, for sure replacing Mosley if we choose to move on from him next year. So he's a guy that's really crawled up my board pretty high.
Nice. Well, Hey, man, and this is the kind of stuff that Dom's putting in his articles, man. Like, I've been really, really pleasantly surprised with how much I enjoy his articles. But so the poll is done. 86% said no trade, which is, I get it. Because, look, while you make some great points about the potential of sliding back to be able to move up later, the truth is that you're going to lose guys like Trey McBride, Muma, Christian Harris. They're not going to be there at 69, most likely. Correct. So we got to pick our guys. So we're going to go like this. The next poll is going to be, who do we want at this position? I'm going to go back to the big board for you guys so you can see. Kenyon Green, widely considered a first-round pick, probably the best pure guard in the draft, even though he's incredibly versatile and can play tackle, center, everything. But he's still there.
In the draft. Second best.
I'm
a Zion Johnson fan.
Oh, there you go. Arguably. How's that?
Arguably.
We also have the tight ends. We'll take a look at the tight ends real quick. Isaiah Likely, Trey McBride, Wiedermeyer, Dulcich, Ruckert, they're all still there, but they're going to get hit between now and 69, so we got to make a decision. So, and then we have the linebackers. So I'm going to go ahead and put a poll, 3 players. We'll put McBride in there, okay? Pick 38. We're going to go McBride. Okay, guys, we'll go with Green. And we're going to go ahead and put the linebacker up there. Now, I think, you know what? I'm going to put Moom up.
Why don't you just put linebacker, and if that wins, we can talk about
that's your say. There you go.
Which one the chat wants.
Linebacker, and then we'll talk about it. See that, Dom? This is called solution-based thinking, and I appreciate that. So I was at a log jam there. So Dom helped me find a solution. I appreciate that. So in the event you guys pick linebacker, we'll dissect it a little bit more. Okay. So Joe Lewis saying, don't forget wide receiver. That's what he's saying.
Joe Lewis, I'm with you. I would think long and hard here at Christian Harris. Breece Hall would be really nice here. Breece Hall, it would be really nice. He's a great running back himself. And I think a perfect fit for the zone scheme blocking system we have.
Yeah, Gitmo Bob says the Beat are like the psychics who throw a million names in the supermarket tabloid. Then when one of their predictions is right, they crow. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it's.
Connor Hughes cracked me up this evening when after I sat down with my wife and my kids, had dinner, And I was just, we're just going over the days like we always do at the table. And I'm talking all about the Jets because none of them really care all that much, but that was hot on my mind. And I'm like, so I'm flipping through. I'm like, look at this. And then Connor Hughes comes up, tweets, the Jets aren't done yet. Like, what a hot take that is.
What a hot take.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, of course. I know somebody, look, I said I was in all these discussions today, and somebody said that, Connor says that we're not done. I said, of course we're not done. Like, that's what are we talking about here?
Yeah. He also said that it would be highly unlikely that Stephon Gilmore comes to the Jets. If he comes, we're gonna have Joe Douglas gonna have to overpay because he wants to play for a winner. Now, that's asinine to me, and here's why. Not to say that Stephon Gilmore doesn't want to play for winner. But we know Joe Douglas isn't going to overpay. So what are you getting at? What are you getting at, Connor Hughes?
Right.
Yeah. I like him too.
Yeah, look, it's not a personal thing. I don't dislike anybody. I just want to make it known, like, guys, they're not telling us anything that we're having the same conversations as they are, but we put more value on them. And it's not really warranted. So, okay, guys, I'm going to end the poll. Okay, let's see what we got here. I didn't look at it. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, this one is this is a landslide. Yeah, it's a landslide. Trey McBride. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pick Trey McBride, and then we're going to move on to pick 69 and see what positions. We're going to do a different poll this time. We're going to go ahead and do positions because now we're getting past that point where, we've done what we got our cornerback. We got the best safety. We got a really good edge rusher. We got Trey McBride. Now, what positions are we thinking? So you brought up wide receiver, and I see a few guys talking about that in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and put wide receiver up there for you guys. It's about to get a hit a little bit, I imagine, but Alec Pierce is there. Mechie just got taken. Sky Moore, Romeo Dubs, Justin Ross. So there's still a few guys there. Chad Muma just went off the board. Kenyon Green made it to pick 67.
Whoa.
Sheesh.
He tested a little unathletic at the combine. He looked a little stiff, but not pick 67 stiff.
Yeah, that's fine. He's all bottom half, that guy.
Yeah.
So we're going to do this. Now, we got the trade, so we got to address the trades first, okay? Let me move this, and we'll see what the polls are. So the Bucks want us to go back to 170 and give 160. Get the hell out of here. I'm not even looking at that. Now, the Bears want to give us next year's 7th to drop 2 picks. So the Bucks trade is ridiculous. I'm not even putting it up there. I'm not even going to do a poll for this one. Just tell me. I'm going to let you pick it, Dom. You want to slide back 2 picks for a 7th next year?
No, I'm going to stay. Yeah, I'm going to stay.
Okay. Jin Pak with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. He says, Jets must understand we control the draft. Dude, there's a lot of logic there. We have 4 top 40 picks. Act as if. I mean, I think there's an argument to be made that the Eagles control the draft too. But we are predators in this draft. And people are going to be coming to us and everything, and we need to squeeze this lemon, in my opinion. And if that means just taking 4 blue chip guys, if they're there, then do that. But we have the ability to move and control things. I think Jin Pak is on to something. So let's put up a poll for the positions. Now, Dom, I'm going to put wide receiver up there.
Okay.
But I'd like you to tell me which position do you think should also be in there. We'll do 4 positions. So we got wide receiver. What do you think should be included?
I think wide receiver. I think linebacker.
Linebacker, good.
Yeah. I think interior defensive line.
Ugh.
We can't, if we're working off of the concept of where our team is as it is today, we need to address the defensive line, interior defensive line, linebacker, interior defensive line, wide receiver, and if we have to pick a 4th, you could throw running back up there, although I think it's number 4 out of 4.
Okay, so that's what we'll do. We'll put defensive line, even though I disagree, and we'll put running back up there. So we'll
Do
go.
you disagree? I want to know why you disagree about defensive line.
Because I think that we are all we need to do is re-sign Kyle Phillips. We have JFM slided inside. We got Quinnen Williams inside. We re-signed Kyle Phillips. You got Jonathan Marshall, Sheldon Rankins. It's the one area I think we're stocked. So I would rather not. I mean, look, if you want to throw, like if we trade back and we got a 6th and a 7th and you want to take a flyer, that's fine. But we got guys for defensive line. Now we're talking interior defensive line.
Correct.
All right. So the poll is up there. I kept it in because I love Dom. So I put it in there for him. But so we have wide receiver, linebacker, defensive line, and running back. Now I'm going to take this moment to brief you guys, just to do a little slight recap so you can see where we are. We started it with Sauce Gardner. We picked Kyle Hamilton at 10. Then we got our edge rusher who slid. People were talking about him at 10. So we got a gem in Jermaine Johnson at 35, and then we went and got our tight end to round out our newly refashioned tight end room with Trey McBride. So we got 3 defense, 1 offense. Not that that's how we should be thinking about it, but that's what it is. So the poll is looking. I'm going to go ahead and put the wide receivers up because that's what it's looking like right now. That's what's in the lead. So here's who we got for wide receiver right now, fellas and ladies. Alec Pierce, Romeo Dubs, David Bell, Justin Ross, Calvin Austin, Azukanma. Now, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about Alec Pierce? You can be brief, but what do you think about Alec Pierce? He's their top-rated guy in this sim, but how do you feel about Alec Pierce, Tom?
Alec Pierce is a great, good wide receiver. University of Cincinnati, tall, fast, true X, true in that true X mold where he's big, plays the boundaries, uses his body well. Again, he's 6'3", 6'4", about 215 pounds. Not the sharpest route runner that I've seen, but he can run a full route tree. I think he's a great player. The thing about Alec Pierce that I got from watching him was, you always he does enough, but I kind of want him to see him do a little bit more. In all his time at Cincinnati, Desmond Ridder is a great quarterback. He never really was the stud, the focal point of that offense. And you could say that had to do a little bit about the scheme, but Alec Pierce has all the tangibles to be a great NFL wide receiver. I'm curious to see if how he'll do against the next level of competition in the NFL. But he's a burner. He's got enough speed. I mean, he's not Tyreek Hill fast, but he's got great long speed. And,
nice.
And sure, solid, reliable hands. Great pick.
Okay, so I'm going to look at the poll. Here's the linebackers. Let me see if I can whoops. Hold on a second here. Okay, so there's the linebackers. Let me see what you guys are talking about in this poll. Wide receiver, it looks like is going to take it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're going to pick a wide receiver right now, guys. Did I end the poll properly? Come on, get up there. There it is. All right, so there's your poll. Pickens is gone, Jeff. We do need linebackers. I agree. Here's the last. But we chose wide receivers, so I'm going to put the wide receivers up. Now, we just heard Dom talking about Alec Pierce. I heard Dom say it, and you can correct me if I got this wrong. In the past, he said he's really good at a lot of things, but he's not great at everything. I don't know if you just said that, but I've heard you say that before.
Yeah, absolutely. That, I mean, in talking about Pierce, that's exactly what I got from him. He could be a good part. He could be a good part of a wide receiver room, but he lacks that intangible, that alpha. I don't know if he's ever going to be the guy.
Yeah, gotcha.
All
right,
but
so
like I said, he's big, he's fast, he plays the boundary well. He can run a full route tree. He's not the sharp, he's not Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave when he's running his routes, but still very good. Strong, big hands, large catch radius. He's got to be in consideration with what we have on the board here. You know, I also like David. The kid from Purdue, Bell, is good.
Yeah.
Shakir is another guy who really impressed me too.
Let's put Austin up there. Okay, so I put 4 wide receivers up there for you guys. We got Pierce, Dubs, Bell, and Austin. So let's see what you guys think here. And we'll get this going. Okay, it is officially up. All right, I'm telling you, I got so many damn windows open right now. I'm like, I keep going to the wrong window. I'm a mess with all this poll stuff. Look, the poll is making it much, much easier as far as the decision part. But as far as my windows and all that, I'm a mess, guys. I want you to know that. I'm all over the place. Mr. Terrible checks in with a super chat. It says, Berrios and Uzoma, yuck. Sick of coupon clipper. Douglas, I love what the Jags did today. Oh, my God, I could not agree with you or disagree with you more. They did exactly what the Jets did in Mike McCagnon's last year. They overpaid for guys because nobody was going to come there. They went and got the guard Scherf that has never finished an NFL season. He's never played a full NFL season. That's exactly what I didn't want us to do. I didn't want Kirk. I didn't want Scherf. Foley Fadukasi, he's a good player. We know that, but they overpaid for him probably a little bit too. I don't know. I think re-signing Berrios was a fantastic move, especially for $6 million. Remember all the stuff about $9 million that our beat was telling us? Remember that?
Yep.
So, hey, look, we're obviously all allowed to have our opinions, but I think, Mr. Terrible, I can't even believe that you're saying that. Like, what the Jags did is what the Jets of old have done every year. It looks exactly the same. And I'm very, very happy. And why didn't you bring up Laken Tomlinson? You didn't like that? I mean, why'd you leave that one out? You know what I mean? Laken Tomlinson was probably the best solution for us, particularly out of the right guards available. I would have been just as happy with Daniels or whatever, but come on, man. Come on, Mr. Terrible.
Listen, Mr. Terrible, I mean, if you want to say that Jags spent, they got aggressive and they spent a bunch of money, that's fine. Kudos to them. But I think you can arguably say they spent money and then some. They overspent to bring in maybe the 3rd, 4th, or 5th best free agent at that position in. I mean, Kirk wasn't the best wide receiver on the board, right? And then they paid Zay Jones, who was probably not the 30th best free agent wide receiver on the board. Foley Fatukasi. It's hard not to like him, especially being a Jets fan. But I could probably name 5 other defensive linemen that I thought were better than him in free agency. And then Evan Ingram. I don't even say nothing about Evan Ingram.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's like, Kirk had $21 million.
He is now by average annual value of his contract. He is the 3rd highest paid wide receiver in the NFL.
Yeah, that's crazy. Now, Mr. Terrible, I can understand you being, not throwing confetti in the air for Uzoma, but don't forget what he is. He's a guy, he had about 500 yards last year. He had 5 touchdowns. He's the guy replacing Griffin and Croft. That's what he is. He's the vet in the room. I think it's his 7th year. Correct me if I'm wrong. He has steadily increased pretty much every year. And he's just coming in to be the vet in the room. He's steady Eddie. He's a very, very strong blocker, has underrated hands. And we're still going to draft Trey McBride, whoever it is. And, so I think he does a really good job upgrading the vet in the room. We had Daniel Brown, we had Ryan Griffin, and we had Tyler Croft. I don't think there's even a question that Uzoma's better than those guys.
No, I think you said that perfectly. Uzoma is better than all those guys, but he's a bridge who does not handcuff us financially for long term. You know what I mean? I think the contract was fair. I don't know what the terms of or the breakdown of. I don't know when we get if we have an out after year 2 if we wanted to. But even so, if we played out the whole length of this contract, it's not going to hamstring us financially to have him there to bridge our next guys. It doesn't preclude us from drafting a free agent tight end or a rookie tight end in this draft or the next draft even.
Yeah. And look, there's no reason to attack anybody personally or anything, guys. I just want to remind everybody of that. Like, Mr. Terrible's been around my channel for the whole time. He was here when there was only 20 of you. So, he's a good dude. He just happens to disagree with 94% of what I say. It's just part of the deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, listen, you're entitled to your opinion.
Right.
Listen,
totally.
I wasn't huge. I'm happy we brought back Barrios, but if we lost him, I wasn't going to cry a river, put it that way.
Yeah.
I put it, if any of these free agents that we lost, or if we lost all of our free agents, I thought we could probably replace Barrios better. The one thing that I do like that Barrios has is that connection with Zach Wilson.
Yeah, so. and he adds the kick return stuff, which is obviously a benefit. But Barrios is bigger than just the player. It's just like Joe Douglas said at his combine presser. He said, look, you want to keep guys that do things the right way. You want to keep those guys. He works his ass off. He's very effective. The relationship with Zach, he's dual purpose, and they paid $6 million for him, dude. 6.
Yeah.
So is that something like I said, would we be torn up if he wasn't re-signed? Maybe not, but I would have been unhappy. I wanted him. I wanted him back. He's a good scorer, and he's a good kick returner. I wanted him back.
And I think the team wanted him back.
Right.
You got to take what you see on social media or what you read on social media with a grain of salt. But when he posted his "he's back" little post, I mean, everyone commented on it, from both Michael Carter's to Zach to the offensive linemen. You could tell. At least they portrayed that they were genuinely happy that Braxton Berrios.
Totally. And did you know that on Twitter, there's this girl, I forget her name, every single morning, she made a comment about Braxton Berrios being signed for the last 2 months.
Yep.
And he went and thanked her today.
Yeah, 74 days, I think. She every morning for 74 days. It was funny.
Super cool.
Read it. I would see it every so often. Because somebody that I follow on Twitter would like it, and it would pop up on my feed. And they were witty. They were witty. So I went cold day this morning. I woke up, took the dog for a walk, had my coffee. And while I was drinking this coffee, thought, what would be better if Braxton Berrios signed today. So she always kind of had a little twist to it. It was pretty cute.
Right. So the poll is up. It's Alec Pierce, but I want to just add one more Mr. Terrible comment, and then we'll move on. He says, Mr. Terrible versus everyone. I'm a Parcells guy. I have real wisdom, which I don't disagree with. I get it. But this is a good point that he makes. He says, Uzomah better not cost us McBride or Fitz in the draft. And that is a good point. If you're concerned that this is all we're going to do at tight end, and if it ends up being all we do at tight end, I would be disappointed. That's a fair point. But it's also fair to say it's day one of free agency and the draft hasn't happened yet. There's no reason to get upset about a potential negative. All we did today was upgrade Ryan Griffin. That's all we did. And that is a good move to make. But he's right. If that stops us from getting, if we think we're done now and we go back with Ryan Griffin, Daniel Brown, and Uzomah, I would be disappointed. So we're going to go ahead and pick Alec Pierce. That's who you guys chose, 47%. Good pick, guys. I approve. So here he comes, and now we're going to go down into our 4th round pick. There goes Dubs. Look at that. Sanders, Enigbar, they're all going. Kyler Gordon. So I'm going to get to
this far, huh?
Crazy, right? Yeah, but that's if they get him, Rusty Spooner. He said, I like, watching Kyle Phillips, I wasn't worried about Berrios. Did I feel the same way? But you don't know if you're going to get him either. There's a lot of teams picking these guys. So let's get to this super chat. Knobcraft, what's up, buddy? Thank you for the super chat. He says, doing things the right way has been the mantra in Atlanta for the last 25 years to rationalize their teams losing. That just scared me. Well, let me tell you this. That might be the case. It has not been the rallying cry here ever. So the fact that we took a 2-year period, got rid of Jamal Adams and Sam Darnold and Herndon and all these guys and created an additional draft class of extra capital and cleaned off all the dead money that McCagnon left, and we're using it on guys that are going to upgrade us. Hey, man, this is new for us, Knobcraft. I hear you, and it could be spooky, but again, that's not our rallying cry. This is brand new. It's so new for us that Jets fans aren't even happy about it yet. We're still kind of confused. We don't know how to take it. You know what I mean? Yeah, so Jeffrey says, we're getting McBride. But thank you, Knobcraft. I appreciate it. Ed Ziff checks in and says, Uzoma has a 78% catch per attempt number. He's number one of the tight ends. Dude, right. He's got very, very good hands. But the thing is that he's also a good blocker, man.
He cut his teeth as an inline blocker. You know, what he could offer in the pass game was secondary when it came up. And he just grew year after year after year. Now, you know, there's a lot of weapons in Cincinnati. He hasn't had to be the focal point of that offense, you know, for a long time. I think it's a slam dunk for what we had and for what was left in free agency. I think Uzomah was a slam dunk. I love that. I love that selection.
You know, I might have chosen Hurst over him, but I like it. I like the pick. But I'm really happy. So here's the big board, guys. We have to decide on what position we want to get next. I'll recap it real quick. It's easy to forget. Last two picks were tight end and wide receivers. So after going defense with the first three picks, we got Sauce Gardner, Kyle Hamilton, Jermaine Johnson, Trey McBride, and Alec Pierce. Okay. So now we have 3 or 4 more picks starting at 110. Don't forget, we also have pick 116. So we need to pick our position. Let me see what's going on in the chat. Eric Craig says Leo Chanel. I would be so happy if you guys pick Leo Chanel.
Yeah.
But anyway, we got to pick the positions. I think we're going to put linebacker up there again. But what else you think? You think we're in the running back range here, Dom? What do you got?
I think we're in the running back range, and I think we're in a real smooth spot with the running back range. Just 3 to 4 ranges where you're going to see a lot of the guys go off. Even the top guys, you know, there's no first round running backs. There's probably not going to be many second round running backs. You know, so I think now is the good spot, round 3, round 4, rounds 5 to grab these running backs. You know, there's a lot of guys that are probably still on the board. It doesn't matter what the simulator really says, but in realistic, there's going to be a fair shot in this 3, 4, 5 range that I think are going to be great serviceable pieces in the running back. That could be great serviceable pieces in the running back rotation.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey, so that's right. We're in our 4th round. The last 2 years, under Joe Douglas, he has used both years in the 4th round to pick a running back. So that might be interesting. We got LaMichael Pirine the first year, and nobody wants him anymore, and except for GreenBean, of course. And then we got Michael Carter. So I put up there. We got running back. The poll is up. If you want to vote in the poll, which I think everybody should, go ahead and refresh your browser. The poll. I mean, I think it might come up, but if you don't see it, refreshing will do it. And we have running back, linebacker. I put tight end up there again for fun because we're not opposed to double dipping. And I think I put defensive line up there. So let's see what we got. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, Mr. Terrible wants Cade York. There you go. Jets Forever.
A little early, Mr. Terrible.
Yeah, a little bit early. Jets Forever checking in. Looks at Tyler Batty, real superstar. You like him? Oh, Leo Chanel's gone, huh? Let's take a look at the linebackers real fast. Here we go. Darian Beavers I like. Troy Anderson I like. Damon Clark. But they're right. Chanel is gone. So my dreams are dashed on the rocks.
Those first 3 names are very interesting, though.
They are.
And they're 3 completely different types of linebackers, which is you know, real interesting. Clark is your typical thumper in the mold of Leo Chanel. You know, he's kind of a force against the run, probably more of a 2-down guy. Beavers is the wild card. Beavers can do a little bit of everything. You know, he's like, and it's funny that he played for Cincinnati because, like Alec Pierce, he can do a little bit of everything, and he shows promise, but he's not great at one exact thing. I don't know if he would be a Will. He could be he could turn into a, you know, like someone like Harold Landry or the guy. Oh my God, Hassan Reddick, who started as off-ball linebackers and turned into edge rushers. I could see Beavers going that route. And then Troy Anderson's just an athletic freak. The guy's only been playing linebacker for 3 years. He was a running back, for Christ's sakes.
Really?
Oh yeah, he's a wonderful, wonderful athlete, and he did good. He was a good linebacker at Montana last year, but he is as raw as they come. You know, he's going to have a lot of learning to do.
Okay, see,
Lakita, that's the guy I love.
Yeah, Lakita, sure.
Yeah, he's another guy that I think. I don't know if he's going to be a true edge, or he's going to be a true, you know, will linebacker. I think he could probably do both. But again, he's another guy who tested through the roof, who was very, very, very impressive.
All right, so we're looking at the running backs right now: Tyler Batty, James Cook, Brian Robinson, Zonovan Knight, Kyron Williams is a name a lot of people like. Damian Pierce, Strong, Tyler Goodson, Zamir White. There's Hassan Haskins out of Michigan down there, so he's there too. We looked at the linebackers. Here's what's left at the tight ends. Whoops. We got Jake Ferguson, Cade Otton, Trey Barry, Jelani Woods. There he is from UVA. Krull, Kolar. Kolar has really been sliding out. He had a rough Senior Bowl, man. It's unfortunate. I still think he's going to be a good pro, though. I do.
Do you think he falls into the undrafted free agent route at this point?
No. I think he's a draft pick for sure. He's got too much production. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, Yeboah was, you know, he was working on becoming a tight end for years. He had that one really good year at Ole Miss, but before that, it was all like science project with him. So I can understand it, even though I disagree with it. You know, guys like Nick Eubanks, in my opinion, should have been drafted as well. But all right, let's see what the poll. But I don't think Kolar is going to. I don't think Kolar is going to be an undrafted free agent. I'd be surprised. I would. All right, the poll is in. So linebacker won 68%, running back 21%, tight end 7%, and defensive line 2%.
Wow.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and look at the linebackers. Here we go, Dom. We just kind of spent a moment on them. But as Dom said, you know, the top 3 are interesting, very, very different guys. I'm going to go ahead. I know people like JoJo Domann as well. What do you think? I think I'll just put the top 4 up there. How do you feel about that, Dom?
Yeah, that works for me. Like I said, there are 4 different kind of distinct players, and it really just falls in what's your flavor, you know?
All right, can you read me the top 4 again?
Troy Anderson.
Wait.
Darian Beavers. Damone Clark.
Anderson.
Yeah, Troy Anderson.
Okay, Clark, Beavers.
And I forgot who you wanted to add as the 4th. JoJo?
Yeah, let's put JoJo Domann up there. Fantastic. Okay. All right, guys. Remember, don't focus on my misspellings. I have a microphone. If you guys saw my keyboard, I've given myself like this much space to actually type. I'm like, I have no space. I'm in a truck. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'd like to have a desk one day. One day, I'd love to have an actual studio or just a desk. So, yeah, Iowan Jets fan could not resist. It says, I always love getting Beaver.
Amen.
There it is. So the poll is up, guys. Go ahead and get your vote in. If I was picking right here, I would take Darian Beavers. That's who I'd take.
And breaking news, Stephon Gilmore looks like he has signed, and it is not with the New York Jets.
Imagine that. Who did he sign with? I bet it's the Raiders.
It is the Raiders.
I want to make a point. Connor Hughes just put out a thing that said the Jets And the 49ers, he has whittled it down between the Jets and 49ers. That's his hot take. And he signed with the Raiders. Just want to remind you. That's all.
I'm trying to confirm it so that we don't find out that it's actually fake news, but it makes sense. They're in need of a defensive back as well.
Yeah. Well, look, if I was Gilmore and I was, the Raiders to me are a much more attractive team than people give them credit for. And I happen to be a Carr fan. Dude, the guy's thrown for 4,000 yards just about every year. And when he doesn't hit 4,000 yards, it's like 3,900. And he had 4,600 or something last year. I mean, the guy's a stud. And they keep changing his weapons all the time. And his offensive line is dog shit. So I think Carr is a much, much better quarterback than given credit for. Yoshi checks in and says Tevin Coleman's contract is 1 year, $1.5 million. Sounds about right. I like it.
Again, he knows the offense. I think he brings a veteran presence to the younger Michael Carter in there. I mean, what's not to like? That's basically vet minimum, just about. A little tad over vet minimum. And right. I haven't confirmed this. I don't see it anywhere, at least on Twitter. If somebody can want to fact check that Raiders got Stephon Gilmore.
All right, guys, I need one more vote on this. Only 95 of you voted. There's 300 of you in here. Only 95 voted. Try to get your voice heard, but we are locked at 43% each for Anderson and Beavers right now. Go ahead and get your votes in so we can at least have a winner. And then we gotta start thinking about running backs, maybe some double dip action.
I was just thinking the same thing. I mean, I'm not opposed at all to double dipping on the edge. I think we also really should look at offensive line. Again, if we're going with the mantra of as the team is right now, we probably need another, backup swing tackle or interior lineman to back up our guards.
Very good point.
Yeah.
This is where we start developing what we call the pipeline. And, taking an interior guy, particularly center, right around now is where you let the guy groom for a year, and then he's the replacement for Connor McGovern next year. All right, So I'm ending the poll. We have a winner. It is Darian Beavers, even though Jets Forever for a couple weeks now has been calling him a bust. It's hard to say.
It's not an uncommon theme. I think people either love him or they hate him.
Right.
And I think it's because he's really lacks that focus. There's not one thing. Like I said, is he going to be an off-ball linebacker? Is he going to be an edge? He's not really the greatest edge. Doesn't have the greatest rush moves. He might be a little slow at feet, and he looked lost at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
Playing off ball. So I get it, but it's hard to, he showed talent on tape. He's got the measurables. He's got the size, again, with a 4th round linebacker, you don't really expect to plug and play him. He can learn. So I'm fine with Beavers' pick.
Jessica Moore checking in. Hello, Jessica. And she says, I like the size, don't like the athlete. She's not a Darian Beavers fan. So that's interesting. Mm-hmm. So, okay. So, guys, we are going to talk about the next position. We are at pick 116. We did not get a running back. Don brought up a really good point about the interior offensive line, and there's nothing wrong with double dipping at tight end or edge, depending. Maybe Jesse Lukita's, still there. Maybe you want to bring him in. So we got running back. Let's go with O-line, and then we can discuss it later. We'll go with tight end. And what else did we need here, Don? What was it?
You said running back, O-line, tight end, and edge.
Edge. Okay.
Double dipping at the edge.
Okay, there we go. Okay, here it comes, guys. Pick 116. We have 4 choices. Let's go ahead and get your votes in. I almost forgot what the word was.
You got a trade up there, Bean.
Oh, we do have a trade. Okay, so that's interesting. All right, interesting here. the Chargers would like us to slide back 6 picks and give them next year's 6, which won't affect us tonight, of course, and they'll give us pick 160. Now, just to remind you, here's what we have left. We have 3 picks left, so that would give us 122 instead of 116, 146, 160, and 163. We could get a little Cade York action. So that's what we're looking at. So what say you? I already put the poll up for the position, so let's just try to get a real quick gauge here without the poll. Trade, yes or no? Give me your answers in the chat, please. Go ahead and give us your answer to the trade, sliding back 6 spots and gaining 160. What do you guys think?
I got my eyes on the chat. So far, the yeses have it so far. I'm counting. It's close. Here's another yes. Here's a no. Here's a yes. Here's a no.
I'm seeing more no's. Oh, there's the yeses. Okay. Michael wants to take the trade. I think I would take the trade too, unless I love the player right here. Let's take a look at the big board while you're doing that. Troy Anderson's still there if you wanted to double dip at linebacker. He didn't go anywhere.
And we didn't address the position in free agency to this point in this hypothetical situation. So a double dip at linebacker wouldn't be bad. And again, he is a different player than Beavers, who we did just take.
Right. So here's what's left on their big board while you guys are telling us if you want to take the trade. Tight end Jake Ferguson is still there, and he had a good Senior Bowl, and he's one of the guys whose stock has been rising. Yes. You got the Texas Tech wide receiver Ezukanma. Saying that wrong. It's just an uncomfortable one for me. Running back James Cook. You got tight end Trey Barry. Defensive tackle Chris Hinton. You got a couple wide receivers here, Khalil Shakir and Wan'Dale Robinson. A lot of guys like them.
Yeah, look how the mighty have fallen. Remember when people were talking about Wan'Dale Robinson as a second-round lock?
Yeah, absolutely. Running back Brian Robinson here, Marquise Hayes. So let me see. What do we got for the trade? You got the yeses? Let me see.
I had yeses, and now I don't see anyone posting yes or no.
Yeah, I think the no's have it. Here.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to deny the trade. I saw a lot of yeses. We're going to go with no. That's what it looks like to me. And then, so we'll refer to our previous poll, which, let's see. Okay, running backs, 57%. Okay, so we're going to end the poll. Yeah. Well, we want our running back. We want to give Michael Carter his partner. So let's see what we got for running backs. It's going to be a running back, guys. Here we go. We got James Cook up top on their board out of Georgia. We got Brian Robinson out of Alabama, Zonovan Knight out of North Carolina State, Kyron Williams out of Notre Dame. That might be my pick with these guys here. I do like Robinson, but I like Kyron Williams, man. Damian Pierce, another guy I like. I don't know if we want to take another Florida running back. You know how Jets fans get.
Yeah, I know. They gotta forget that stuff. They gotta forget that stuff. Yeah, Damian Pierce is a good ball player. He's physical. He's nasty. He runs hard. He's always gaining yards. And again, he's a one-cut guy. He's not, he might not be the most laterally quick or quick first step, but he's got enough long speed that he can break away. And he's a one-cut-and-go guy. Definitely an in-between the tackles guy. In my article that's on the website about the running backs, I told you he's my second favorite running back in the class.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And let me rephrase that. He's my second favorite running back as a fit for the Jets in the class.
Who was that now? Pierce?
Yes, Damian Pierce. Brian Robinson, I know, again, an Alabama guy. He had a great season, but I think he's more limited on what he can do outside of just being that short yardage kind of, that short yardage back. I liken him. I liken Pierce. I liken Pierce a lot to Jerome Bettis. That's my comp to Pierce. Bettis had the same kind of build. He had the same kind. He had the same kind of abilities coming out of college. And and he, learned and developed and kind of, went well beyond expectations. And I think Damian Pierce has that same that could have that same kind of outlook if given the opportunity. Perfect thunder to Michael Carter's lightning.
See, I like that. See, that's a very well-constructed argument, Mr. Dom C. I like this. So the poll is up, guys. Let's go ahead and get our votes in. We have James Cook, Robinson, Damian Pierce, and I think it was Kyron Williams.
Yeah.
So let's get our votes in there and see what we got.
I see Anthony Rizzi put something up. He wants Cook from Georgia. Great running back, and I know that, he's Dalvin's brother and he was very good. The problem with my take on Cook as a fit for the Jets, he's very, very similar to Michael Carter. You know what I mean? He's probably even more of a sheer receiving back or third down back than Michael Carter is. Michael Carter's got a little more gumption that, you can give him the ball first and second down. I think Damian Pierce is, in the molds of that Thompson, like the kid Thompson from Washington. True receiving back, third down threat, going to be out there on passing down, so on and so forth.
Yeah. Now, Braden, I don't really know why Kyron Williams has fallen. And the truth is, I don't know if he has fallen. He's fallen on this sim. So that's all we got to go by here.
Well, he's fallen in this sim, and I can talk to this a little bit. He had a terrible, terrible showing in Indianapolis. He test. I mean, and you can't hang everything on the test because, combine testing and gameplay is two different animals, but he ran really slow. He did not show up in, I think he was at the bottom or towards the bottom in all of the athletic barometers, the long jump, the high jump, the 3-cone. He just showed off very, very slow.
Yeah. And that's what Guy is saying. He said he ran a 4.72.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing. Look, lots of times guys don't test well. I mean, that's part of it. So that's good info, man. That's definitely why he's fallen then, Braden. Look, a lot of people put even too much emphasis on the combine, but it's important to include it. So that might be what's going on here. Oh, look at this. So Sol just checking in says, I may be late on this, but the Vikes released defensive tackle Michael Pierce. Any interest, Dom?
Oh, man, he's a big boy, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't say. Listen, I'm trying to match a name and a face in my head as we're on contact. I don't know much about Pierce or what he did in the past. The only thing that's come to my head, he's a big dude. He's got to be 330, 340, right?
He's 345. Yeah, that's all I remember about him. I don't know.
Minnesota ran a base 4.3, so he couldn't play one tech. He's not like a true nose guard, is he?
No.
Yeah, I don't. I got to be honest with you. I'm shooting blanks here. I don't know much about Pierce. So
yeah, well, it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. All right, guys, we're going to look at the poll. It looks like Pierce has it, guys. Pierce, I think Dom's.
I sold you guys. I sold the bill of goods, man.
That's what I was just. Yeah, you sold.
In all honesty, I really like the. I really like the player, and I really like the fit for the Jets. Take away. Right. Be able to kind of wash away any preconceived notions you think you have against Florida running backs. Because Pierce isn't LaMarcus P. Ryan and vice versa.
Right. Hawk says Michael Pierce is 6'5". I thought he was shorter than. I don't think he's 6'7", but he's 340 pounds.
He ran a
4.38. No, he didn't. He's out of his fucking mind. The Hawk is drunk.
A 4.3820 maybe.
Hey, look, Michael LaMountain is saying, or LaMountain or whatever, said, you sold me on Pierce.
Michael LaMountain, listen, I only speak the truth. Read my articles on GreenBeanjetsfan.com.
Yeah.
I said the same exact thing on that article as I say here. I stand by my word.
Right. It's going to be real interesting to see how the draft goes and stuff, and see, what you were able to kind of uncover and shit. Because you're doing a great job, man. I got to say,
I appreciate it, man. It's fun.
Yeah, well, good. I'm glad you're having fun. I'm having fun, reading this shit and putting it up there. Owen, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Let's see. Yeah, right. Knobcraft. Eisen ran a faster 40 than Kyron at the combine. That's funny.
That's good. I like that, Kraft.
Yeah, Dan from New York says, I'm watching a Pierce highlight right now. He's not even 6 foot. Yeah, he's it said I just looked at his stats. I'm not going to pretend to have it in my brain, but he's 6 foot 345, it says. He said 6'7", 340, and ran a 4.38. That's what he's at least you went really ridiculous, Hawk.
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna take a look back at what we got here. Okay. So all right, we started with Sauce Gardner. We got Kyle Hamilton, Jermaine Johnson, Trey McBride, Alec Pierce, Darian Beavers, and Damian Pierce. We have 2 picks left. We have not grabbed an interior offensive lineman at all, which is interesting. And we have some double dip action, but we didn't grab a defensive lineman either. I'd be really happy with a tight end with a maybe another linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see.
I think, if I had my druthers, I'd definitely take offensive line with one of these picks because you need another guy in the middle there as a backup, as someone to groom for the future, and then best available. Where the options are plentiful with what we've done so far in the draft and what we've done so far in free agency.
Hey guys, look who's there. Cole Strange is there. You know the Jets like him. We also like Thayer Mumford. Oh yeah, Chasen Hines, sure.
And the kid from Georgia there, Saylor, good ball player.
Yeah.
Donovan West, another good ball player. Somebody I like a lot. He's definitely developmental, but he can play center and can play both guards. And he's cut out of the cloth of a zone block or zone scheme blocker.
All right. So next pick, we're going to put a poll up there for you guys. It is interior offensive line. We're going to go with tight end. Tell me what you're thinking here, Dom, if you got another one. Let's see, linebacker. And let's go wide receiver. What do you think?
Yeah,
another wide receiver?
Listen, you can. I'd probably keep it at the 3, but you could put wide receiver if you want to throw it on there.
Yeah, let's throw it up.
I think it's offensive lineman and then best available at whatever position you want to double up at.
Right. Okay, here we go. It's out there, guys. It's out there. Let me take a look at the big board, but Cole Strange is there. That's a good one. I would love to grab him right now. Here's the centers. You got Cameron Jurgens. They call him Beef Jergy.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let's look at the tackles for a moment if we can. Dare Rosenthal, Myron Cunningham. Oh, easy, right?
From TCU.
Okay, Kellen Deach. Yep. Easy E.
Cunningham's a good ball player too, but again, and it kind of coincides to where we are in the draft. These guys are all developmental. You know what I mean? These guys are 2-3 years away from making noise.
So Kyle Phillips is still there, guys. He's one of our little fan favorites. Bo Melton down here. Amika Amizi's here. Charleston Rambo, Tyquan Thornton. Those are the running backs. Let's see the tight ends. We got Jelani Woods up top. So there's a few of our little pets are still here. You got Jelani Woods. You got Cole Strange. All these guys. Bo Melton. So there's lots of guys that are still here for us to play with. Now let's take a look at the linebackers too. JoJo Doman is still there. He's just hanging around. Terrell Bernard, Zacoby McLean.
From McLean from Auburn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm surprised he's still here.
Let's see what the chat is saying. Let me see what the chat is saying, and we'll get to the poll. Van Valkenburg, there he is. Yeah, Bo Melton, Duncan. Bo Melton did have a good combine. He also had a good Senior Bowl.
Yeah, listen, Bo Melton's a sneaky little player. Being from Jersey, you hear a lot of him since he was at Rutgers. I think Bo Melton can offer something on special teams right off the bat. and develop into a solid slot receiver. I don't think he's going to ever be on the outside. I don't think he's got the chops or the skill set to play on the outside, but he could definitely be serviceable on the inside and more so on special teams, on your kick return, your punt return, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, right. So Bob Marston says LDT is set to resign. Drafting an interior offensive lineman is admitting the Jets are going to back out on no. Well, don't look at it that way, Bob. What we're doing is the theme of this mock is only acting as if what we signed today is what we have. That's it. So that's how we're governing this one. Dan says if Jelani is there, grab him. He'd be wild in our offense. I agree. He's
unique, man. It's hard to guard 6'7" and a half.
Yes, it is. Jelani also offsets our shorter wide receivers. Harold wants Strange. All right, so let's see where we are with the poll. I hope you guys are getting your votes in instead of just throwing it in the chat. Interior offensive line is leading. I'll put it up there for another 15 seconds or so, 20 seconds if you get your vote. Look at what I labeled it, Nexer. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. So this is the Nexer poll. Interior offensive line is killing it, actually, with 69%. Tight end is 18%, just went up a little bit. Linebackers at 9, and wide receiver is at 7, even though Kyle Phillips is still there. If you guys haven't taken a look at Kyle Phillips, he's going to tickle you. Go ahead and watch some Kyle Phillips. There's lots of guys that tickle you, though, man. I love the back end of the draft, man. I really do. I have to put some more time in it, though. My last couple weeks have been insane. And I'm even leaving Sedona tomorrow. I got nothing but driving coming up for the next week, dude. I'm going to get my ass kicked. What the hell just happened? What was that? Oh, okay. It scared the hell out of me.
Oh, teammates, yeah. Yes.
I don't want that. Okay, so let me end this poll. Let's see where we are. Yep. So it's interior offensive line. Now we're just gonna look at the interior. We'll look at the guards. You got Cole Strange, Chasen Hines, Thayer Mumford. They're all there. And center, Cameron Jurgens. He's going to be a stud. He's a perfect guy. But I would love either Jurgens or Strange to sit behind our starting offensive line for a year. They're going to be ready to start next year, in my opinion.
So, and here's what I'll say to both of those names that you said there. If I had to lean one way or the other, I'd probably lean Strange because I think Strange has a little bit more versatility. He can play all three of the interior spots.
Yeah, there you go.
Where Beef Jurgens is going to be he's going to be a center, which is not a bad thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but you get a little bit more versatility with what Cole Strange can offer. If the choice between those two.
That's a great point. So, okay, I'm putting Jurgens up there. I'm putting Cole Strange up there. I put Thayer Mumford up there. Give me another one, Dom. Who do you like? You got Chasen Hines. I'd probably put Hines up there.
I'd probably put West. I don't know if
Donovan West.
I don't know if he's listed as a guard or a center, but again,
he's under guard.
He can play all three.
Okay. So Donovan West, guys, here we go. You got Cole Strange. We got Beef Jergy. We have Donovan West and Thayer Mumford out of Ohio State. So this is going to be an interesting one. I can't wait to see what they pick. I'm excited. I'm excited for this one, guys.
I'm not looking at the chat, so I don't know if they're saying anything, but I think this is going to be a Cole Strange, and I'm saying 82% win rate.
Right. Eminon says Dr. Strange. William Malpica says he has to be the pick here. I know I like Jelani Woods too, but we chose offensive line, which is fine.
Yeah. William Baez. Salyer can play multiple positions in the strongest conference in the college. Listen, I agree with you. Those anyone that comes from the University of Georgia gets a markup in my book. I mean, they come ready to play in the NFL.
Okay, I like that. All right, let's take a look at the poll, see where we are. Yeah, it's a landslide so far. Well, let me see. Yeah, it's you got to get your votes in, guys. Go ahead, get those votes in. You're not all voting. Just complaining. Jets forever. You voting? I wonder if he's voting.
saying everyone stinks.
Yeah.
Or everyone's a bust.
So did we find out where Gilmore went? Cornerback.
No, I couldn't find it. It must have been fake news put up there in the chat.
Charvarius Ward is going to sign a 3-year, $42 million contract with the Niners. Is that real, Duncan?
Wow. That's a big number if it is.
Yeah, it's a big number.
And that takes them out of the Gilmore running.
Yeah. Matt Simon says fake news on Gilmore. He's still available. Okay, let's take a look at this poll. I'm telling you, man, these windows are killing me, Dom. I got too many windows. All right, yeah, it's over. Cole Strange is the pick. I think it's a good one, guys. Even though Jets Forever thinks he's a bust, we're going to say Cole Strange coming to town. Now we have one more pick, if I remember correctly. Then we're going to take a look at how our division rivals did as well. See what our draft looks like when being compared to our division rivals, and see how if we made up and caught up, made up any ground on these guys. Look at it, Charleston Rambo right before we pick. So this is our final pick, guys. Now we could look at the tight ends. Who's still there? Cole Turner's still there. Wow. Jelani Woods is gone, of course. Wide receivers. Kyle Phillips is still there. Oh my God. He's right there. So now a lot of people like to grab a kicker here. So Dom, we just got an interior offensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
What other positions do you think we should go for here? Last pick.
Man, listen, I think at this point, between what we did in day one of free agency and what we've done in the draft so far, you really can go best player available. Two of the names that you talked about in Turner and Phillips are probably guys that I would consider. You could throw a dart at another guy in the defensive backfield if you'd like. That's probably the avenue I would go. And Cole Turner, he would battle. He would rival Kenny Yeboah right off the bat. I think he'd push Kenny Yeboah for his roster spot.
There you go.
He's got that kind of skill set, and it's completely, polar opposite to the skill sets of Usama and Trey McBride, which we brought in. He's the guy that's going to flex out. He's the guy that's going to bust the seam. Phenomenal hands. I don't think he dropped a pass last year in college. So he's who I would lean.
And what was his name? Who was that?
Cole Turner.
Yeah. Cole Turner. So, okay, let's see what the edge rushers look like here. You got Trey Williams from Arkansas. You like him? Tyreek Smith.
He's not bad. Smith from Ohio State still there?
Yep.
Yeah, he's a 4th rounder, man. I'm shocked that he's still here.
All right, here's what we got. Take a look at the poll. I've listened to largely myself on this one, but the poll is up. We have kicker. We have Kyle Phillips, wide receiver, Cole Turner, tight end, and Tyreek Smith, the edge rusher. This will be our final pick. If you want a kicker, you got to get your votes in right now, everybody.
Not trying to sway you guys, but to this point, we still don't have a kicker on our roster because we haven't signed Eddie Pinheiro yet.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
We got Amendola still.
I'm going to give Jeremy. Jeremy has written the same bad joke in the chat probably 18 times. So I'm going to say, Jeremy, here it is, Big Ben Parliament, European vacation. What are you talking about? What is it? Why is it that important? Well, talk to us. Let us know what the hell you're talking about, Jeremy. I don't know what he's getting at there, Dom.
Somebody must be repeating something in the chat, and I think he's responded to him.
No, he's been writing it for over an hour. I just thought, I thought it was like initially some response. He's written it, I don't know how many times, but so Jessica Moore says Barno is interesting here.
Amari Barno is good. Yeah. He's undersized, but he's got a good motor.
There you go. So, and right now, like you said, best player available. This is the kind of, you're no longer going for needs at this point in the draft, you're looking to bring on the best possible athletic addition to your team here in a similar fashion to what we did with Jonathan Marshall last year. Even though I would have definitely went with a different position. I saw guys I really liked, but Jonathan Marshall being on the team this year, if they do in fact like him, gives us some flexibility as far as not having to draft a defensive tackle this year. Like I said, we have Kyle Phillips out there. We lost Fatukasi. We still have Nathan Shepard out there too, which I hope that they don't re-sign. I don't think he's worth it. But then we have Marshall, Rankins, Quinnen, JFM, all those guys. I gotta tell you guys all about the bucket of spaghetti too. I went and got that today.
Yeah, I forgot to ask you how that was.
Yeah, I did. I'll talk about it when we're all done here. So let me see the poll. So that's coming too. Let's see what we got here. It's kind of close. So kicker is 15%. Kyle Phillips is ahead right now, 44%. Cole Turner is at 32%, and Tyreek Smith is at 9%.
Interesting.
So I'll leave it up there another 30 seconds. If you guys haven't voted, please go ahead and do it now. It's your last chance to vote for tonight's draft. Go ahead and get it in there. Jeffrey likes Jonathan Marshall. Well, that's good. Yeah, I like him too. I mean, he's a Jet now, and I want him to be good enough to let Fatukasi go, even though they're very different players. But I want Jonathan Marshall to be good enough that losing Fatukasi is not a big deal. But I do think they should bring Kyle Phillips back. That's a guy I think we should be re-signing for sure.
So here's my take on the interior defensive line as constituted right now. I like Marshall as a player. He's a Jet. I root for him. But I think the problem, if there is any problem we have right now with the interior defensive line, is that Folo was our run stuffer. All these guys are more of these slashing, get after the quarterback type defensive lineman. You got no real guy, that's heavy in the hips that's going to sit there and shed the blockers and stuff that run. Between JFM. Between Quentin, between Marshall, I think we still need one more real big run stuff and body in there. Now, maybe that's Kyle Phillips. I don't know, but he's not on our roster in this hypothetical situation.
Right. So Gitmo Bob says Kyle Phillips is redundant. I don't disagree with that, but hey, man, don't forget there was a time when the Patriots had Welker and Edelman. And they had no problem kicking everybody's ass with those guys. So there's nothing wrong with it. So it looks like Kyle Phillips is going to take it. I love Kyle Phillips, and I would have gone Cole Turner here as well as you. But we're going to go ahead and end the poll. Maybe I'll give it 30 more seconds just to make sure, because there's still about 150 of you that need to vote. So if you haven't voted, do it now. If you want to see Cole Turner or Tyreek Smith or get a kicker, now's your chance. Kyle Phillips is running away with this one. Nothing wrong with it. And you know what? Kyle Phillips can let us finally say goodbye to the Vincents and Jeff Smiths of the world and all those guys. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye. I had all kinds of hopes for him. I was rooting for him. It's time to go, it looks like. Cole Turner just went up 1%. All right.
Hey.
10 more seconds. Let's see if he can gain 13% in 10 seconds. Let's see. 10, 9, 8, 7. It ain't happening. Okay, here we go. All right, Kyle Phillips is our final pick. So let's go ahead and grab him. Where is he? Here he is. Kyle Phillips. Okay, this is an interesting draft. We're all over the fucking place tonight, guys. But I think we did a good job. If this ended up being the draft, that's how we have to look at it. Not like we didn't get the guys I love. You look at it and you say, okay, if this was the draft, how would I feel about it? How would I feel? Now, that's the way to do it. And then I'll let the draft run a little bit so we can let our division rivals make their picks. And then we're going to see how they did. Now, this sim is weird, Dom. Sometimes and you know this, but it'll pick like 3 running backs for the same team. And it's like, that's obviously never going to happen. Bo Melton went to the Chargers, everybody. Josh Jobe picked 199. Crazy. He was being talked about at the beginning of the season as a potential first-round pick.
Yeah. especially last year. He had a better season last year than he did. I mean, he really flopped this year. I mean, he was there was something off. I don't know. He played timid. He got burned bad. He didn't want to tackle. His stock just plummeted.
Yeah, plummeted. Very similar to what's his name last year, Sean Wade. That guy, his stock plummeted. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. There's no more picks. Okay, here we go. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at let me see here. No, we'll take a look at the Miami Dolphins and see how they did, guys. And let's get some letter grades up there. They started it with first-round running back Kenneth Walker III. Then they followed, and they just re-signed their running back today. Then they went linebacker Channing Tindall. They went offensive tackle Matt Waletsko. Wide receiver out of Texas Tech, Zukanma. I got to figure out how to say that the right way.
Easy E. He goes by Easy E. That's easy to remember.
Yeah, okay. Chris Hinton, defensive tackle. Chasen Hines, offensive guard. So they went 2 offensive linemen. They're the ones who grabbed Josh Jobe, and they wrapped it up with Julius Turner, defensive tackle. So what do you think? What do you give this draft, Dom?
Honestly, C+.
C, yeah.
Just for the fact that you're taking a running back in the first round, that alone, you can't get a B.
Right.
So I'll give it a C+.
Yeah, Big Green's giving it an F. Dan's giving it an F. Gitmo Bob gives it a D. I'm like right there too. I say like C-, almost a D. Yeah. Like I'm not impressed with this draft. Josh says a C. Chris Bradigan saying F. Matt Simon saying C. Y2K says D. Michael's being nice. He says D+.
My C+. Look, Kenneth Walker's a phenomenal, and he does fit a need. I know that they just brought in Chase Edmonds today, but again, Chase Edmonds is more of a scat backish receiving back type, or Kenneth Walker's gonna he's a 3-down type. So they're different kind of running backs. He's a good player. That's why I gave him the C+.
Yeah. Okay. C+.
Round, come on.
Yeah, okay. So Chris Olave is the New England Patriots, guys. They started it with wide receiver Chris Olave. Then they went cornerback Darian Kendrick, replacing J.C. Jackson. Then they went with my running back Rashad White, wide receiver Khalil Shakir, Thayer Mumford, the offensive guard, and Cordell Volson, offensive tackle. So they got 2 offensive linemen, 2 wide receivers, a running back, and a cornerback. What do you think of this one, Dom?
Oh, man. If I gave Miami a C+, I think this is better than Miami because I think Olave is a good player. Not a fan of Darian Kendrick at all. I think he's a developmental cornerback at best. But I like some of the other picks, so I'm going to stay with C+. I think they're on par with Miami.
So you're giving it a C+. What do you got? I'm seeing some. So Jeff says that's a B. Y2K doesn't trust Kendrick either. You guys don't like him. A New York Jets sale says
me and Y2K, we're like this, man. Our draft brains are linked somehow. There's a good connection between New Jersey and Virginia.
There you go. I like that. That's good to hear. Dan says C. We're seeing a bunch of C's. Michael Basso says a C. Jets forever D-. Big Green says a B. Manny Roman's a B. Let's see. Hawk says C+. Michael LaMountain says C. Jack Harris B-. Patriot C+ from Matt Simon. All right, let's get Rusty Spooner gives it an LOL. We're getting lots of C's. Frank Scarpula says C+. Red Dog says a C. Jason Valente likes Cordell at offensive tackle. He gives him a B. That's nice. Okay, here we go. Let's get to the Bills and see what
Buffalo Bills. What do you say?
Wow, look at this. So they started it with your guard, Zion Johnson. Then they went cornerback, Tariq Woolen. DeMarvin Leal, the defensive tackle, arguably the best defensive tackle in this class. I know there's other people that are hotter right now, but that's something right there. Then they went running back, Kyron Williams, and wide receiver, Danny Gray. What do you think of this little tiny short draft?
I like the first 3 picks there. I know people are cold on Leal right now, and I know he didn't test out very well in Indianapolis. But comparatively to the other drafts, I like this. I like this draft a lot better than the other one. So I'm gonna go with a B minus.
Yeah. Okay. B minus. Let's see what they're saying. They're all B's. Yeah. B, B plus, C plus. Josh gives it an A minus. Gitmo gives it a C. Frank Scarpula gives it a B minus. There is it. Michael Lamountain, C plus. Jets Forever gives it a D.
A D?
Yeah, he's just a grumpy guy.
Well, if Gitmo Bob gave this a C plus, it's probably like an A, because I've never seen that guy give anything more than a D.
He's a tough sell. He's a tough sell. C plus. I think that's an A from Jake. Aaron Harm says B minus. Yeah, I think it's a solid B, maybe even a B plus.
Yeah, it's a good draft. If we started with those first 3 picks, I think any team would be happy.
Yeah, let's see what our draft looks like here. Let's just go. Let's go right to it here. We're not going to play games. Let's see. Where are we? Where are we? There we go. Okay. All right. So here's our draft, guys. And I want to see how we rated next to our division rivals. That's why we did that first. So we started it with Sauce Gardner at 4. We went at 10 to Notre Dame and got Kyle Hamilton. Then we got our edge rusher, Jermaine Johnson, the darling of many Jets fans. We got tight end, Trey McBride, wide receiver, Alec Pierce, linebacker, Darian Beavers, running back, Damian Pierce, offensive guard, Cole Strange, and wide receiver, Kyle Phillips. That's quite a few Senior Bowl guys there. I want to just tell you. So, Dom, what are you giving our draft tonight?
I'm giving the draft based on how we selected it, or how it was selected with what we were dealing with after day 1 of free agency. I love it. I'm going to give it an A minus. And here's why I'm giving it an A minus and not an A. And you can pick your poison. But I think that we needed to address linebacker earlier or more often. That's the only thing that's hanging this draft in my eyes from an A minus to an A. But anything when you start with Sauce Gardner and Hamilton as your first 2 picks, anything less than an A minus, get out of here.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you. I think this is an A as well. And let me just be clear here. There are plenty of players in here that would not be my choice. But when I look at it for just what it is, I can't be unhappy with this draft. If this is what we pulled out, I would be ecstatic. The top 4 picks are immediate starters, all of them.
Absolutely.
Yep. Immediate starters. So I'm seeing lots of A's. Look at Hawk. That's an A. Jake gives it an A plus just on the first 3 picks. Watu-K says it's an A. 2 knocks are I'm not sure about some of the middle picks, and we didn't get any draft capital for next year. Yeah, I've noticed the theme last year during the Monday Night Mocks, man. We were getting lots of draft capital for the future. This year, nobody's interested in it. They don't want to take it.
It's a different regime, though. Like last year, we knew we were dead set in the mindset of we're still in this rebuild. Now, although we're still in the rebuild, we have some hope now. We don't plan on. I mean, at least I don't plan on settling for anything less than 7 or 8 wins. I couldn't say that last year. Last year I was like, we're still years and years away.
Now we want to use our picks and get to the damn football field. That's what we want. Just Dreaming says C minus. That's a tough one. Lots of A's. David Gerard, Steve. New York Jets Tale says it would be an A, but we waited too long on linebacker. I agree. I would have liked to get one of the linebackers earlier. There was nice, once you pass a certain threshold, like they're gone. You got to really be doing some deep scouting to make sure you get the right guy later. But there's some guys I really like a little bit earlier. Hey, but it is what it is.
To that point, if you trade back in the first round, I think that's where you start the target. That's that warm spot for the linebackers.
Yep. Rusty Spooner says B. Dan New York B minus. Dark Soldier says that it's an A. Let's see what Jets Forever. Sauce and Hamilton saves this draft class. Well, good, because they're up top. If you're going to hit, that's where you need to hit. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Big Green gives it an A+. Mars Blackman says B. Jeff DeJet says a lowercase A. That's still good, I hear. That's still pretty good.
A little guy.
Jessica Moore says B+. That's good. Jessica knows her stuff. So, B+ is pretty good. John Silva says a C. Braden says it's a B. Lots of B's. Frank, B+. Derek Luker says A+. Gitmo, there he is, gives it a C. I'd love to know why. I'd love to know what it is. How do you complain? And look, I don't want a cornerback in this draft. I really don't. But
and a lot of people don't want a safety. But when you put it all together, every single person in this chat, if this was our draft class, I think we're giddy. We're giddy come the end of the draft.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's like very rarely do you go into a draft and get the guys you want. Maybe you can nail the first, maybe a second. But it's like, I mean, what they pull together. Like, let me tell you, last year, not one beat guy, nobody had us taking Elijah Moore, Michael Carter, Jason Pinnock, Michael Carter II, like no one. Jamie Sherwood, no one. But when you remove your feelings and you take a look at it, you go, wow, this is a smart draft, especially because we saw them play. And once you can see that, it's like, look, it made sense. I didn't want cornerbacks there where we took them, but it made sense. We didn't have any. We had, what's his name? We had Blesson Austin under contract. That was it. So we needed cornerbacks. So they addressed it. So that's the thing. Jets Tails says blank face. He doesn't like it. Mark Wagner gives it an A. Jets forever. B- without Sauce and Hamilton. F. Ooh. F. Jets Tails says he agrees. All right. So Jeremy says 3.14. He's drunk, I think.
Pie. It's pie day.
Yeah,
right?
It's pie. He's like, Big Ben Parliament pie. So okay, B+. Aaron Ham says B+. Yeah, Jeffrey, I double dip at linebacker. I would have been in favor with that. Harold says 3 blue chippers, first 3 picks. The rest of the draft is a little meh. Yeah. Okay.
You don't like Trey McBride?
Yeah, it's a tough one not to like, man. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what. Yeah, I mean, maybe he means the first 4 picks. I mean, how do you not like if we bring in Trey McBride, arguably the best tight end in this class? Now, there is an argument to be made that maybe the value isn't there. Maybe, the drop-off between McBride and number 2 isn't so great that you can't wait until, till the third. There's an argument for that. But I got to say, if you like the player and he's there, take the damn player. You know what I mean? If you really like him. Yeah, so there it is. Eminon gives it an A. Michael Basso gives it an A. Dark Soldier's going to say goodnight, but I got to tell you about the spaghetti. Okay, so yeah, well, looks good. So Big Green, it's his birthday tomorrow or today. Ides of March tomorrow. Be wary, everybody. Yeah, don't hang out with anybody named Brutus. I'll tell you that. So happy birthday, Big Green. I'm going to take a swing and say you're 26 years old. Am I right? 23. I think you're 26. Let me know. Let's see. So, guys, I'm going to tell you guys about, I went to the place and I got my, it's called By the Bucket. And I'm going to make a little video and put it. I went in there today and they had just opened. I was like waiting for them to open. I did my live stream this morning and they opened at 11 a.m. and I went in there at 11:07 and I walked in. I was the first guy and I said, hey, man, I can't believe it. Fucking spaghetti in a bucket. All that. And I was hanging out with the owner of this particular restaurant. And I told him I'd never heard of it. He was so gracious. He took me around. He showed me in the back. He taught me how they make everything. It was super cool. I filmed it all. And the pasta, great. The spaghetti itself, really, it's done perfectly. The sauce, guys, what a disappointment, man. What a disappointment. I was so sad by the sauce. But the meatballs were good. The garlic bread was good. So you spend it's like $14, $13.95, and you get 1.5 pounds of spaghetti in this popcorn bucket, Dom. And
that's
so
a lot of pasta.
It is 1.5 pounds of spaghetti. They give you half a loaf of garlic bread and obviously the sauce for $13.95. And then a meatball is $1.25. So I got 67 meatballs. But I got 4 meatballs. But meatballs were good. And would I eat it? Yes.
Yeah.
Is it like when you just put it on fast food level, it's a really nice change for fast food, but I wouldn't compare it to any real Italian food. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think you can. I don't know how much, being from where you are, I don't know how much real Italian food you're going to find in the foothills of Sedona, Arizona, right?
That's the good point. Listen, man, when you travel around the country, you realize in a hurry that it's not what you think as far as what good Italian food is claimed, out here. Like a lot of people, man, oh, that restaurant's great. And it's funny because a woman came in there while I was talking with the guy and she was raving about it. And she was telling me, oh, you're going to love it. You're going to love this. I crave this place. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. But, yeah, she craves not good Italian food. Now, was it bad? No, it was not bad. But it was like, think about it. You're at the end of the day, or maybe you're having some beers or something, and you go and get a pound and a half of pasta. It's going to be a drunk person's fucking dream. Just taking a fork, eating spaghetti out of a popcorn bucket, dude. It was fun. But, okay, so everybody said they all have their guys. Yeah, old Dave Etcheverry says, I'd rather have Karlaftis and Hamilton, but he gives it a thumbs up. Right. That's the thing. We're all going to have players that we like more, this and that. But it's when you look at the draft as a whole, if the Jets pulled together this draft 3 days, and at the end of it, we looked like this, I would be very, very happy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not to say I love every player. So let's see what else we got here. So there's the spaghetti pizza. Yeah, Michael, I've heard that. I had pizza in New Haven. I thought it was good. I thought it was good.
I mean, I know in the Northeast, that's the big argument that's the best place, that's the best pizza in the world. Listen, if you like it, it's good,
Right. Yeah. I had it. It was good. Like, you know what I mean? That was it. I had it last summer when I was in the Northeast. I went to, Connecticut, Maine, Massachusetts, all that stuff. And I did it. Everybody said New Haven pizza. So I went and got New Haven pizza and it was good. I think that David Gerard is onto something here. Brooklyn has the best pizza in the country. Now, I've been all over the country and there are different styles of pizza all over the place. Like St. Louis, I don't know if you know this, Dom. St. Louis has a very specific kind of pizza. Number one, it's round, but they cut it into squares. So they just cut it like a grid. But the crust is it's like almost crunchy, but it's like there's a crunch to it, but then there's a chewy, thin, yet dense crust. And then they use a cheese blend called Provel, which is provolone, cheddar, and Swiss.
All right. Enough.
Dude.
Enough. Not a chance. Not a snowball's chance in hell that
you wouldn't even try it?
I would try. Listen, pizza's one of those things. Even when it's bad, it's still pretty good, right?
Yeah, right.
So would I try it? But it kind of just made my stomach turn a little bit when you talked about all three of those on a pizza.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, I had a very, very similar initial thought. I was like, dude, this is going to be friggin' terrible. 2 cubes in, 2 squares. I was like, you know what? This is fucking good. This is good. Now, does it compare to Brooklyn pizza, even New Jersey pizza? I'm a big Jersey pizza guy. I love Jersey pizza. You know what the best pizza is? You'll know. There's the Reservoir Tavern in Boonton. Best pizza.
Oh, yeah. Reservoir Tavern and Star Tavern. We go back and forth.
Yeah, Star Tavern
in Orange, yeah.
Yeah, very good. But the Reservoir Tavern, you got to make sure they do it well done. If they don't do it well done, it's a fail. They got to do it well done. But most of the time they do. But yeah, dude, in Pittsburgh, I did a video on that for you guys. They make their number one, you can't order slices. You got to order, what the hell was it? Cuts. They're cuts. How many cuts do you want? So you get 3 cuts for $5 or whatever. And they make the crust and the sauce, like they make that hot. And when you're going to order it, they take cold mozzarella and provolone shredded, and they put that on there cold, box it up and give it to you. So the cheese is like melting when you get it. And when you bite into it, there's still a coolness to it. It was awesome.
Sounds awkward.
It was weird. But it was awesome. That's the thing. You got to go in with a clean mind, you know. But again, would I compare it to Brooklyn? No.
Nah.
But it was good. It was good though. So let's see what else we got here. And we're gonna wrap this one up. Wait, where was that? St. Louis pizza is a bust, right? And Jets. That's good. Yeah. So that's the thing. You guys, you know, look, and Chris Bradigan says Chicago pizza is the best. That's the thing. Dude, let me tell you something. So last year, there's a really good Chicago place, like one of the real, you know, the original Chicago places. They have a few restaurants around the country, and there's one in Orlando. And you buy the pizza, and it's like, I shit you not, it's like 5 pounds. Like when you get the box of it's big and thick. I went out, my son wanted it for his birthday. So I drove 40 minutes and went and got it, came back, and my father happened to be at the campground with us. And I opened the pizza and cut slices. My father looked at it and said, "What the fuck is that?" And I said, "It's Chicago pizza." And he took one bite. He cut it with a fork. He's like, "This is bullshit, number one." He took a bite. He put it down and said, "I can't eat that."
Yep. I could imagine that. I could imagine that.
Now,
Good, you know, old school Jersey fella, you know, Italian. He knows. My old man would do the same exact thing, except he wouldn't even entertain it with the fork full.
right. Wouldn't even get that far, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Now, I'll tell you guys this, too. There's a place in Virginia. Me and Y2K were going to meet there one day, but it didn't work. But there is a place called the Crozet Pizza. Little tiny place in a little tiny town. National Geographic. And just so you, National Geographic does food. They do worldwide food stuff. They claimed that it was the best pizza in America. Okay. And they wrote a whole article about it and everything. And I went there. I lived 30 minutes from there. So I went there a couple times. I did a whole review on that place too. It's fucking awesome. Awesome pizza. Now, is it the best? No, but it's awesome. And it rates. You'd love it, Dom. You would love it. So,
like I said, even bad pizza's still pretty good. So I'm sure I would like it. I'm sure I would eat it. I'm sure I would like it.
Yeah, that might be it, Chris. Jordan, that's the thing, Dom. I know. I'm the same way. But Chris Bradigan says, please don't say Giordano's. That's probably it. That's probably the place. That rings a bell. Why, you don't like that one? That's probably not the good one, Dom, right? He's like, no, you got to go to Sal's on McGovern Street. You know, that's what you got to do. All right, guys, we are going to wrap this up. I had a really, really good time with you tonight. Dom, thank you. I had a great time. Now, you guys can see, I've been telling you about Dom for a little while. He knows his shit. He knows what he's doing, and he writes articles, and he does stuff out there, and you guys would be better if you read him. You would enjoy it. I know you would. He's a good time, and I want to thank you for coming on, buddy. What do you got coming up? You got anything you want to let anybody know about?
Oh, guys, listen, I'm always popping around on Twitter. You can find me at DC_New York Jets. Like I said, I have a reoccurring show with Chaos with Jeremy Sunday nights, 9 p.m. We do our own little dueling mock draft with different scenarios. We swap back and forth with the picks. And I got another article coming out for GreenBeanjetsfan.com this week. We're going to drop the linebackers. You can find out and read about Troy Anderson, who's highlighted in the article, on why we should have taken him instead of Darian Beavers in the 5th round of this draft.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Yeah,
and I'm telling you, a
lot of fun. You guys in the chat are great. If you haven't done it already and you're still here, please help Kyle out. Hit the subscribe button, hit that like, and do everything in your power to support the guys like Green Bean and all the rest of these content creators, because they help us, man. They help us get through the pain and the joy of being Jets fans.
There you go. And when he says Kyle, what he means is Green Bean, so you know who he's talking about. That slips out of his mouth every now and again. He knows my real name, so now you guys do too. So yeah. He brings up a good point. If you guys haven't liked the video, please do subscribe. My Patreon is in the description of this video, guys. You get all sorts of additional content. And the coolest thing about it is you get kind of a closer access. Like we have more intimate time together. It's really, really cool. The guys are great. The beanbaggers. If you want to be a beanbagger with us, click on that link and join my Patreon. And I put a service in there. I mentioned it this morning on my live stream. But as gas prices go up, I am not sponsored by this company or anything. This is something I actually use and can benefit you. The link to this app is in the description. All you got to do is click on the on the app, sign up, use my promo code, and then we both get 15 cents off a gallon the first time you use it. But dude, I don't buy gas without this app. I don't. Like it gives me 5 to 25 cents off everywhere I go. And let me tell you, it helps. And then all you do is you collect money in the app. And then when you get to $50, $100, you just collect it. And I usually get Amazon cards, but you can get it. There's like 1,000 different things you can collect it as. You want to do ShopRite, whatever you want to do. But I use Amazon. So anyway, the link is there, guys. It'll help you. It helps me. And I'm passing it on to you as a service. We can help each other out there as these gas prices beat the hell out of us. So anyway, Jake with the super chat. Thank you. He says, link his channel so we know where to watch him. Dom, let me see. I'll do that right now. Hold on. It's NFL Chaos with Jeremy. Let me see.
Correct. It is not my channel. I'm just the guest host, or the co-host, I should say.
Right. So I'm going to put the link. I'll put the link to Jeremy's channel in there. And Jeremy's always doing fun stuff too, giving stuff away and all that. So he's a good time. So here it is right there. So there's the link to the channel. And again, Dom's articles are released on GreenBeanjetsfan.com under blogs and P's of the pod. He's one of my P's in the pod. So it's a good time, guys. Now listen, you guys, get some rest. Enjoy this day. We had a good day. Wake up tomorrow and let's see what Joe Douglas pulls together for our day 2 of this 2022 free agent period. I love you guys. You're the best. Thanks everybody for being here. And you guys have a good night. Enjoy this outro.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8.
Johnny Lamb Jones. Wide receiver. As a season ticket holder of the Jets, I'm going to fool Ken O'Brien of California Davis.
Obviously, the Jets know something that, the people up there don't.
Fullback. Roger Vick. Jeff Lageman.
Jets just don't understand the dress all back.
Blair Thomas, running back, Penn State. Johnny Mitchell. The New York Jets select tight end from Penn State, Kyle Brady. Vernon Ghost.
Cleveland traded the 5th pick to the New York Jets. And with the 5th pick in the 2009 NFL Draft, New York Jets select Mark Sanchez.
D. Milner. Smith. Jets select quarterback Christian Hackenberg.
Sam Darnold.
The New York Jets select Zach Wilson.
Future Pro Bowler, Elijah Moore.
Michael Carter, running back.
This is when the Colts had Peyton Manning waiting there because he didn't come out the year before because Parcells, our brilliant head coach, decided not to tell Archie Manning he couldn't guarantee that he would take his kid first. It's just the stupidest thing. History could have been totally different for us Jets fans, but it's not. And it sucks because Parcells is one of the greatest coaches we've ever had, if not the greatest. So how can you complain? You can't. I hate that prison cell. I hate it. I want to yell. I want to bitch about it, but I can't. Because Parcells was good. Traded back. Got James Farrier and Dedrick Ward out of that one. That's what I think. The Washington Redskins at the time, they didn't want to trade the 5th overall pick. They didn't want to do it. They probably wanted Ricky Williams or they wanted somebody for their own team. And Ditka just kept dumping shit. No, I'll give you this, I'll give you that. And he got to a deal. You're seriously going to give me the 12 overall, every pick in this draft, plus your 1st and 3rd next year for one guy? They took it. So you want to know how this worked out? 2 years later, the Saints traded Ricky Williams. I think they fired Mike Ditka too. Like, this guy's out of his fucking mind. So that's what they did. This guy's out of his mind. They bought in on name only. They said, hey, man, he's a genius. We're just going to go. Nobody thinks this is smart. Nobody else in the organization bought into that one. I'm sure of it. But they let him do it because he's Mike Ditka, and then we learned right there that Mike Ditka's plumb crazy.
Jets, Jets, Jets. Woo!